Yeah, chocolate, I guess.
Candle. You're supposed to bring a candle. Are we celebrating?
Is Dave coming in here too?
No, we'll tag.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, you don't want to. I mean, is Nicole not sitting in? We can bring Dave in if she's not sitting in. I thought
Nicole, did you want to sit in? Let me see if we're live.
We are live.
Oh,
live. So let me.
we're live.
All right.
All right. Can you double check? Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast. We are at PT Sports Pro currently, and we're gonna check the audio. Nicole's gonna make sure that our audio is coming through well. She's also gonna share. So those of you that are tuning in, you can probably see us. We're joining for the what is this?
It's a VIP celebration event.
VIP celebration event. We are going to
closer.
have to definitely sit on top of these mics.
It was weird. I could hardly hear Terrence.
I know.
What?
That's not normal.
It isn't.
That can be fixed.
There we go.
I know. I shouldn't have said anything.
There we go. Now I can hear him. But welcome everybody that's tuning in right now to see this live event. You can see in the background. Just make sure. Well, you can't really see in the background. I might have to adjust that camera. Well, you can right there. You can see. Terrence has a ton of really good stuff for you.
We got
vegetables.
We got cupcakes. We don't care about veggies.
But we do have
No, look
cupcakes.
at that.
And this is a celebration of sorts.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. We've been working on this project for over a year, and you guys got to actually hear it first back in 2022.
Wow.
You were on the inside.
It took a long time.
Before we even started the whole, partnership
Yeah.
with PT Sports Pro.
Yeah.
2022.
I know.
Wow.
Back then, we couldn't even talk about it. I'm like,
No.
wait, guys, wait.
I felt so special.
I know.
We've
I
always
know.
said you were special, Mitch.
I know. I am.
There are a lot of ways to be special. I think Mitch hits them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are. Fast forward almost 2 years since we kind of started talking about the project and working on finding a space and getting our leases in place in like October of 22. Then in April of 23 is when we started actually formulating the plans for the layout. Started build out in November of 23. Took about 3 months to get everything sorted out. It was a big project. It was an absolute labor of love. Lots of details. If you ever come and visit us, as we all highly recommend you do, just take a walk around. It's very healing to walk in this space and see what you see and kind of be part of a bigger picture of what we can do in our community.
Yeah, and we're gonna add some video to this so that those that do see this can actually see the space a little bit better than just the cameras that we have set up.
Right.
But yeah, so quite a celebration. This is, like you said, been a long labor of love, and obviously those that are listening to the podcast have heard kind of the progress of this.
Right. I mean, our listeners got to hear it first, right?
Yeah.
Because this is where we made all of our first announcements before we even went on social media. We announced it at I Don't Know Running.
Yeah,
And we did do one episode from here too, and then
we did.
I don't know if we showed as much of the area and stuff like that, but all the glass, like there is just a ton of glass in
Yeah.
this place. It is wide open.
That's right. The whole idea is when you walk in, you should have this clear visual of what you're about to experience. And you should have this feeling. The vibe is really about healing, right? It's all about I walk in and I feel good already. Then you meet our front office staff, and then you feel like pampered because they take care of your every need, from check-in to having a seat in our beautiful waiting area that's right behind us here, and being able to be offered something good to drink, like a glass of water, a really good cup of coffee, which you got to taste the coffee today, right?
Yeah.
Is the Jura all it's all hyped up to be?
Yes, it is so good. He
Yeah.
made me an Americano. Dave's coming in. Look at this.
It's weird. He's got
As soon as I say Jura, you just walk in.
Boom, there he
Right on
is.
cue, Dave.
And you'll want to pull that
Sure.
way up to you. The mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull that right up to
Yeah,
you.
the weirdest thing, we could hardly hear Terrence a minute ago.
Oh,
Can you
I
I
don't
know.
believe that.
I couldn't believe it either. But hey,
No, I don't think it's humanly possible.
No.
miracles happen, as you can look around and see that this is a big miracle for us. And
Yeah.
like I said, you come in, you sit down, you get to sit in a waiting area that doesn't look like a medical space. That
No.
was important to us, right? And then the next level of being ushered into a room by one of our front office staff, so you're not just sitting there waiting for your therapist to come and pull you in. I mean, it's the little things that matter, and so we're really trying to take care of the details. We've been open for 6 weeks now, and so I figured it's about time we threw a party and celebrated this opening. And
Yeah.
speaking of party and opening, I keep looking over to my left here.
We're getting close. But
think-
first,
I
let's
think we gotta
hang
do
on,
some due diligence.
Yeah. Hold on. I want to just welcome Dave in first of all.
Dave- oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
I should have brought a drink.
Yeah, congratulations. Terrence is going to get ready to bust open some champagne.
You're
But,
just going to drink from the bottle.
Yes.
All right.
But Dave, first of all, just how are you feeling?
Feeling really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's to not bring up a cliche, but it's a dream come true.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
awesome.
It's exactly what we've talked about even for 12 years ago,
Yeah.
15 years ago when we started having a vision of where we would like to be.
And what sports should be like, the sports we have.
Yeah,
So,
that's here.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got some aches and pains as long as we're here.
Well, we just talked to somebody. I don't know if we want either one of them working on us.
Rudy
Well,
said he's
Rudy came through and he said he is sore from you guys working on him. But that's how it's supposed to work,
though?
right?
So okay, you may have heard this other part. All of our patients, when they graduate therapy, they're gonna get a shirt that says hashtag, but did you die?
There we
He
go.
didn't die. So
No.
yes, you're gonna feel the aches and pains when you come in. Absolutely. Guess what? It's because we worked on the right spots.
Right.
So you will feel better. Sometimes because of us, sometimes in spite of us. I said it first.
I appreciate that. You're not leaving me much.
No. I missed you the last couple of sessions. You were out running. So
Yeah.
we're honored to have you here, Mitch. And you,
Yeah.
Louis. I mean,
Yeah.
we appreciate the partnership we have with I Don't Know Running, and
We
Yeah,
love it.
It's been super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
there's different ways to connect. And
Yeah, and I just want to say congratulations, and I kind of want to set up how this podcast live is going to go. It'll go a little bit different for once it gets edited down, but tonight, specifically for this live podcast that we are doing from
Wait,
PT
are you
Sports
taking-
Pro,
I'm
we are going to be
welcoming.
jumping in and out of things. We're first of all, we just want to kick this off just to kind of celebrate this occasion and this event, and we're gonna have Terrence open up some champagne that he
Big
got.
bottles, man.
And then we're gonna hop off. We're gonna go talk to people. Let you guys talk to people because ultimately, that we want you guys want to welcome everybody that's coming in here.
yeah.
And then,
You want it the brutal way, or
well, we don't want it all over equipment, so be careful.
you can take out a light. You can take out the
Take out my
Dave's
eye.
eye.
Well,
I know. He
Dave,
was like,
how's the malpractice? Here we go, guys.
Yeah.
ah, nice.
I did
All
that.
He
right.
was guarding it.
Well, I
all
wanted
we
to
know,
make sure that
all we know is that Terrence, it's not quality. It's because it's a pink bottle. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
So
It's
we don't.
handpicked.
Okay, to
We
be honest, that's why I chose this, right?
Yeah.
It had a
I
cool
can
pink
I
bottle.
can see that.
It's I support anything that's in the PT Sports Pro brand and colors, so why not?
And I will toast with my NA because that is 12%. I looked on the back and I went, I am not having any of that.
If you're gonna put some of your NAs
Yeah,
in
yeah,
your
I could
glass
put it in
and then-
the champagne glass to join you guys.
Hey, it looks close.
It does.
It's just
It
not.
does.
You should have got a
NA
pink can.
champagne of beers.
Yeah. Congratulations, PT Sports Pro.
Great, thank you
Thank
guys.
you.
We
Hey.
appreciate it.
And there goes the gates,
right,
shutting everything
it got
off. It got quiet.
I have to tell you that that's good.
Is it good?
What do you think? It's not bourbon.
No.
It's champagne.
But you got bourbon in the other cup.
remember that.
It's bourbon and bubbles. So hey, we'll go
I
with
need
it.
I need food before I drink too much of this.
Yeah.
We got a cupcake for you.
So let's do this real quick before we step away and you guys start to do something and talk to a ton of people that are coming in right now that unfortunately we can't see in the background here. They're kind of off
But
camera,
they can see me.
I can see you, and they can't see Terrence. I got to step back.
Oh, that's good. I'm good.
I got to step back for Terrence. I'll bring him back a little bit.
You can't miss his accent, anyways. I mean, you two guys like sound like the same person talking.
Does it?
Although I've gotten better at telling your voices apart.
Oh my
now.
goodness, that is funny.
geez.
I didn't say you
He's
look
always-
the same.
I was gonna say he's always nice.
Well, that's
Yeah,
true.
true.
It's the sound and not the
The attitude.
the attitude. Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's do a little bit of let's just do a quick segment of something with you don't know what you don't know. Can you off the cuff come up with something? Dave, perfect. Digress with Dave. I digress with Dave. You brought up something. You mentioned something recently in your post on Facebook about being. It's funny because it reminded me of being happy with, content with where you're
Doing
at.
it. He's doing it. He's digressing.
I am digressing.
I
Bit-
digress with Lewis.
being
It doesn't have the
happy
same ring.
with being happy with where you're at because you raced recently
Yeah.
at St. George, and it occurred to you that you just need to be more content with kind of where you're at in your training or something like that, or made you think of that. Maybe you could just kind of touch on that.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, totally. So St. George, this year was my second year doing St. George. And it really, I guess, to try to sum it up and then maybe dig in a bit after that, I absolutely love the course, but it's a hard course. It's notably hilly, long hills, not steep. And it's a challenging course. And so my mentality going in, especially after last year where I had a really bad race, mechanical issues and things, and a really bad race, I had my sights set on this year doing really well.
Yeah.
And really I overestimated what I probably should have done or could do, what was capable of doing. And so I go into the race and sort of throughout the race, I am realizing that I'm just not doing well, but I should be doing better. And so that's kind of frustrating. And I've ultimately finished okay. And
Yeah.
I relatively compared to other races did well, but I just wasn't like satisfied with it.
Yeah.
And so that's partly me too, is that I'm almost never satisfied with my races. When I should be satisfied and just leave it at that.
And that made you think like maybe we need to be okay with maybe readjusting our where our goals really should be based
Yeah.
on where we're at.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Adjust those expectations for, it could be simple stuff like the weather conditions or what's happening that day, or, everyone doesn't have a day,
Yeah.
or doesn't have their race, and they could be well prepared for it and do everything by the book. And something just doesn't go right enough that you can't explain,
Yeah.
but it is what it is, and you have to take that. And like actually a friend of mine, as I was texting with him, said, the first thing he said was, "What did you learn from the race?" It's like, oh, gee, I guess I haven't really thought about that.
Mitch likes to ask that.
I like that. Sometimes it offends people when I say that, though. But maybe it's my tone.
True.
Yeah.
True story.
So what did you learn, you dork? What'd you do wrong there?
I don't say dork. There's probably other words. but
yeah.
But I think one of the words that popped out in Dave's musings on social media was the word focus, right? And it's hard to maintain focus when you have a lot of things going on. And sometimes when you're so focused, you also miss out on what's going on. So the flip side to the idea on focus, I think, is an important thing for our listeners to really understand, both in their training and in their racing. At the end of the day, just don't beat yourself up for whichever way that goes. Because you put in the work, you've done the training, you've set your goals. You may not always meet those expectations, but for me, it's really all about the purpose, right, of what you end up doing. As the race becomes a vehicle to get you through the purpose that you've meant to live through. So I think that's what I learned from Dave's,
For
kinda
me,
digression.
I love the journey.
Yeah.
Part
Yeah.
of not doing what you're expected to do is part of the journey.
Absolutely.
So I love to hear like people's failures. I get a lot of crap for that, but to be with somebody that had a really bad day,
Right.
Well, it's the whole point of showing up on race day.
right?
But
Like
again,
that's why race day is whatever day it is. It's not just whenever, through the month.
Right.
Like you prepare yourself and you show up on race day, which means you might not have a great day that day
Right.
because of whatever reason. But that's why we show up on race day.
For sure.
Right. And I think also with, one of the other things that Dave said in his post was about, having the history of what we do, right? Sometimes we hinge so much of what we do on our past performances that we forget to appreciate where we are. And while he's beating himself up about not going sub 5, I'm going, wow, you did a 5:05. I
Right.
watched you every single step of the way. By the way, why did you stop swimming at 0.6 of a mile? Because I was like, that's where my ticker kind of what's he doing now?
Oh.
Is he taking a leak in the water?
No, I can swim and do that.
That's not an issue.
I have to say, I was disappointed you didn't go sub 5. I'm still struggling with it.
Son of a gun. But no, I think you don't know what you don't know when you go into the race. You have no way of predicting exactly what will happen and how things will execute. But I tell my patients, even when they see me at the practice, I'll go do the best we can to get to the start line. You figure out what you need to do to get to the finish line. Whatever happens in between, it's all, how your day is going to roll.
Yeah.
And some days you can put in all the work and still not get that end result that you wanted. And other days you can slack off like crazy and it's like, crap, did I just do that? Like, how did I do that?
Wait, Sean just walked in. She was,
Oh, speaking of.
yeah, she just ran sub 2 at Riverbank.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was thinking
Congrats.
she was thinking that she was going to be, hoping just to beat last year, which was like a 2:05. So she sloughed off and still
Well,
got
the
sub
Sean
2.
effect really is pretty simple, right?
Yeah, I need to start training with her.
maybe you can still get under 5.
Maybe she can show you how to get under 5.
Totally.
But I think in staying with the concept of, you don't know what you don't know, what I'm excited about tonight's celebration is that we have our best friends gathering tonight to kind of hang out here and check out the space. And more importantly to this podcast is maybe come in and share some of their stories, because you don't know what you don't know. And maybe hearing it directly from one of these stud athletes out there is going to help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step out while Dave takes you down a rabbit hole.
All right.
I'll recruit. I know, never happens.
We're changing it up. It's not going to be Terrence taking us down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole now. It's going to be Dave.
Start digging.
Hey, digress with Dave. I mean, he's got it all
I
figured out.
love it.
Squirrel.
Yeah, I love it.
So I'm going to recruit some people that I think will have some incredible stories to share that will
Awesome.
really get on air with our listeners.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I think we need to start with Sean.
Don't
Just
talk
completely throw
too
her
much
off.
about me while I leave.
That's where we're going immediately.
Goodies off. Okay.
So, Dave, tell us about Terrence's.
Dave,
No.
I have no secrets, so Dave knows them all.
Right.
Well, hey, let's talk a little bit about Digress with Dave. Where did that why? What did that come from? I kind of have an idea with talking to Terrence a little bit, but I think it's really neat. I think it's a nice add to PT Sports Pro because it does give another just an area to learn. And I just realized I'm not recording this, so while you do that, I'm going to set up the recording so we're actually recording this. It's still going live. We're still going to get that, so I'll pull it. But I need to plug some stuff in and start recording.
Okay.
But go ahead.
That's weird.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Stuff happens. It's exciting here. There's a lot of energy and a lot of people back here that are just filling in now, and it's 5:20, so that's cool.
All right, we have audio now. Keep going.
So so I think that what was the question?
Digress with Dave.
Yes.
Where did Digress with Dave come from?
Yeah. So really, it was so I had a thought that for years, way back when we were with other organizations together, we really didn't have any opportunity, and we were kept from posting on social media and doing social media blasts and really reaching out and trying to connect with our own sports community and just the community at large. It was very hindered, and we've always wanted to do this, and so we toss around ideas here during the day when we have downtime where, hey, what do we want to do? What do we want to push out on social, and how do we want to frame things?
Yeah.
And Terrence is really big on consistency of a post, consistency of message, and and really framing things so that we can be dynamic with it, but also and have a good message, but also build something that becomes a bit of kind of a niche or a sort of a staple almost, like like something that people can learn to recognize. And so I think I was just thinking at one point as we were brainstorming, utilizing the PT Sports Pro, how we have capital letters in part of it, sandwiched with lowercase letters, that let's do something like, I forget what I initially thought, but like something with Dave, a spin on some words, and create this similarity between the logo and this social media handle. And so he just then kind of came up with Digress with Dave, and
I love
he's
it.
kind of like that, where like, he'll pop into his head these creative ideas really quickly and easily, much better than I can. And so he'll be able to really like help guide me into what I should be talking about, or what I should like consider with my post.
Yeah, because I want to comment on that real quick. Then we're going to introduce our next guest here. But because you have a wealth of knowledge to share, and sometimes it's hard to know when, how, like who to share that with. And so I think that's a great avenue to be able to just put out some general information that people can read and go, just like the post you did about the race. I'm like, that was really good. I mean, I read it and it made sense, and it was just a good reminder of, kind of like what we just talked about. But hey, why don't you introduce our next guest for us?
Our next guest here is Kendall Barajas.
And
she is our office manager. We've been like family. I mean, like all of us really have been like family. And so she came over here with us to really get things built up.
Awesome.
And I'll let her.
Yeah, Kendall, so can you make sure you're right up on the microphone? Yeah, because of all the background noise, we got to make sure you're like,
and if we couldn't hear Terrence, we're assuming that we can't hear anybody else.
Yes.
Very true.
Well, welcome to the podcast,
Thank you.
Kendall.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you just tell us a little bit about your story, how you got involved with PT Sports Pro, how you got involved with physical therapy in general? I'm guessing that's where it all started, right? You're stealing Terrence's cupcake?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you just tell us that, how you got involved with PT in general and with PT Sports Pro?
Yeah, so I met Terrence, it was back in 2011, 2012, where we started working together, and from then just kind of fell in love with physical therapy, rehabilitation. I come from a social work background initially, but always been interested in the healthcare field. So I've been working with him for the past 12 years in an office coordinator, manager, supervisor role. Helped oversee a bunch of different offices and staff throughout the years. And just fell in love with the whole patient experience, the whole customer service, the front end, all the insurance, scheduling, everything that nobody else here wants to do. Oh my goodness, Dave.
He is tearing up a cupcake.
Is that half gone already?
Yeah.
You got a little crumb on your chin. There we go. Got it.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then working with these
The-
folks here too keeps
These
it fun
animals.
and entertaining. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. It's
Oh,
the
that's
people that
great.
you work with too that make the work
That's
that you
awesome. And so you were
enjoyable.
involved with PT Sports Pro right from the beginning,
do.
essentially.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Once that became an idea, they were like, "All right, bring in Kendall."
I'm jumping on
and
the bus. Let's
awesome.
do it. Yes.
So what is the? We've heard it from Terrence and Dave, obviously, over the course of the last year and a half, really. But what has your experience been with this whole process, and what's your excitement level at? I'm sure it's high, but I want to just ask that question.
Excitement level is very high. Yes. The experience from the beginning, just seeing Terrence's vision and mission, dreams come to life from the couple years that we've been kind of planning and working with like the builders and just designers and everything has been amazing. I'm very excited, and the first 6 weeks now it's been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have really kicked off, and excited to see it grow, and again, what we can do for our community is huge as well.
Yeah, I love the fact I've heard that from everybody here. It's not just about like creating a space to have a business. it is about what can we do for the community, and I don't think that can be understated because I've heard it from everybody.
It's about the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that
Yeah.
is a different approach.
Yeah, one of Terrence's sort of challenges has always been to, you take an idea and, don't count anything out. Don't consider it not possible. Always consider, hey, if there's a void somewhere or if there's something that needs help or needs some aspect that needs to be rehabilitated, then let's figure out how to do it rather than step back and say, oh, no, it's going to take too much work or it's going to take too much of this or that or money or whatever it has. Figure it out and let's see if we can make it happen.
Absolutely.
So that's been a
So
really
what do you do, Kendall, like on a day-to-day, what are you doing for PT Sports Pro besides keeping these guys
Wrangling
in
these guys in
control?
control,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like what do you like, I understand that we all get
What
these
would
titles.
you say you do?
Yeah, but what do you actually do?
A lot of the front end aspect of the role. Right now, we're dealing a lot with insurance contracts and credentialing, which can take quite a while.
Yeah.
Dealing with making sure all the providers are credentialed properly, as well as this new business. So a lot of paperwork, fun paperwork,
Okay.
okay, whatever.
connecting.
You're not thinking it's fun?
No.
Connecting with physician offices as well, and different facilities within the area, just marketing ourselves, making sure that they're aware that we're here. Referral sources are huge, and just, again, the scheduling, getting forms together for consent to treatment and HIPAA and, making sure we're
Lots of
all-
that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendall's really good at the patient-facing things too. So the office work, of course, is the kind of the monotonous stuff that's we are seemingly continuing to deal with, and it's also kind of a waiting game too. But the patient-facing aspect of like everyone's greeted very warmly and come in. Can you have some coffee? Everything's very consistent from rooming patients and trying to help people feel as at home as possible.
That's the fun part of the
Gotcha.
job.
It sets the stage for then us to come in so that we create this seamless kind of framework.
Because one of the things I notice, like I walk in and your waiting room is in the middle of everything.
Yeah.
That is not normal. I was just at the chiropractor the other day, and it's like you have this little room that you come into, you see nothing, and you go down this long hall, and you have all these private rooms from there. This isn't. It's wide open. It's kind of
Yeah.
kind of a cool concept.
It is. It personalizes the experience.
You can see it a little
for
bit
patients.
there. Yeah. Kendall, do you are you involved with? And now I can't see you, but are you involved with sports of some kind? Do you also, like Dave, go out there and do triathlons, or Terrence doing marathons and all these other?
I am not an avid runner, but I do love to run.
Okay.
I am more of a 5K-er, so
That's perfect.
I love to run. I played basketball in the past, and that was kind of my sport.
Oh, so some PT probably there
Yes.
in the past.
Oh, yes. Morning
Basketball.
CL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. So you have a lot of personal experience with that, and so
that's
you can actually relate very personally with people that come in that have injuries and things like that, and probably not able to do the sport they really want to do, like you did with basketball at one time, I'm sure, because of some injury. That's awesome. Well, what else?
Well, we've got a pretty cool performance lab that I'm always excited about. Talk
Right
about
with
a
that.
random thought.
Yeah.
but-
Wait. What is the?
We've talked about our sweat testing and our
Oh,
VO2
yes.
max and
Hang
lactate
on, yeah.
threshold.
When
When-
are we doing that?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
Kendall,
we're
we need
very,
to get
very
need to get
close.
scheduled.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. We'll get you in right away.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, actually, thinking of that, we get people in as quickly as possible.
I think we got a couple
We-
more weeks of prep work on that.
Okay.
And we're just testing all of the equipment. Todd Buckingham's our exercise physiologist. And,
Yep.
Yeah,
He should be starting very soon here. He's kind of gotten into the lab, and we've gotten some things situated so that he can get things set the way he needs to start really running.
So he will be running that. Okay.
Yeah, very close. I would say in the next week or two.
Yeah.
Oh, I am excited for that.
Well, we have to do a test. We're test subjects for this, so we can record it, and it'll be
Yes. Yeah. When can people expect that to be live? I know you say a week or two, but like,
Yeah.
when are people able to actually call in? And I mean, are you talking like a month down the road because you want to work through some things, or a week closer than that?
Yeah, it should be within a couple weeks. It's kind of like open-ended, partially because we're waiting on like the scheduling system and the payment system to kind of go live, but once he does, it would be pretty immediate. So
Our
it's
goal
kind of
is the beginning of next month.
yeah,
Yeah.
within the next couple
Any
weeks.
okay.
tweaks.
Beginning of June. And what is maybe walk through a little bit of, you don't have to have all the finite details, but like, how long does that process take? Do you guys have an idea? Like, what are you scheduling for, an hour? Like,
Yeah, most tests are going to be about an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, Todd's really flexible with. He wants to give as much information as possible on your test. So we've kind of talked about it in the past about, you're not just kind of coming in, going through the test, and then peace out. You're done. It's more of you go through the test, then you can sit down and really go through the results in detail, so that as the athlete or as the client, you understand them really, really well. And Todd explains them very well, and he's going to give you as much time as needed to explain everything, so that you not only understand it but then can use it.
that's what I was going to say. It's one thing to just get numbers, but you want to understand how you can apply those to whatever, whether it's salt intake, whether it's, what was the other one?
Like for training, for like
So you can actually apply it to a training program.
your zones and everything like that. Yeah, it makes it very functional. It really helps to make your training purposeful. You maybe hear the buzzword of purposeful workouts. Every workout needs to have a purpose. And sometimes then people are just kind of like, okay, well, what are my purposes? Like what do I do with that? And so this establishes framework for your workouts.
And I would imagine you guys are planning to then put that into a training program for somebody, if somebody wanted that, where they come in and they're like, hey, I would love to get this testing, but then how do I put that into a program? You guys are putting that together, or that would be another step.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. He's a coach, I'm a coach, and Terrence has done a number. I mean, that's kind of really how PT Sports Pro came about, is his own personal training business was called PT Sports Pro. So, like, we've all got coaching and kind of fitness training backgrounds too. So we utilize that as well in our application to clients.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. At this time, let's
I think I should bring in Mark, shouldn't I?
Yeah, let's take a break. Let's take
Okay.
a pause. We're gonna have somebody else sit down with us, and we're gonna ask them some questions about PT Sports Pro as well. Thanks, Kendall. Thanks,
great.
Dave.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Now I can eat this cupcake.
I know. I'm waiting for a cupcake too. We'll be right back.
That's good. Just starting to feel the buzz, so I have to eat something.
Thank goodness. Sure. I'm gonna grab a fork or something. I was running out of I don't have to ask anymore. All right, what do you got? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna drop this cupcake all over this.
Next guest.
Oh, jeez, welcome.
I gotta do media stuff now. Which one you
All right, we're live. We're live on Facebook or YouTube.
We're live on YouTube. Okay, right this minute?
Right this minute.
Oh, so the taking a break was a thing that
It's in it.
the people on YouTube
Yep.
out there just saw us take a break. So hopefully they'll come back
Yeah.
or stay away.
And then we'll have this up on Wednesday as well.
Okay. Probably edited. take
Yes.
Out the 5-minute gaps when people went out
Yes.
to drink some food.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I like it.
Let's just do something really dumb. We're gonna keep that in.
Yeah, we'll keep it. Yeah, it's
I'm gonna finish this bite of food.
What?
I probably wait and eat afterwards, but this is kind of good stuff.
What is that?
Whatever we're drinking, it's pretty good.
Yeah, but what is it?
It's got vodka in it and something else, pomegranate juice or something.
It's pretty strong in the vodka.
Is it?
Yeah.
Rudy mix it?
No, Terrence did.
Oh, well,
That's probably
just
worse.
about as bad.
All right, everybody, we are back.
All right.
And Don, if you could make sure that mic is nice and close. I've got the settings all way
There,
down.
okay.
Perfect. Well, hey, we have Don Kern joining us. Welcome, Don,
Thank you.
for the third the third or fourth, at least third.
Yeah.
Well, there's at least a couple. Yeah, we've done groundhog. We did one out of your place one
Yeah.
time. Yeah, so
Yeah, welcome.
get out
How
once
are
in a while.
how are races? You're busy. You're always busy, like putting together races, putting them on. How is the life of the race director Don Kern right now?
I'm having a ball right now. The race is Grand Rapids is way bigger than last year this far out.
Really?
I don't know if that's going to continue. I hope so. I think we're getting back to 2019 levels. Our Millennium Meadows is way ahead of last year, and last year was a record year for us. And so, it's all looking like things are coming back to their normal pre-COVID levels for us.
Well,
and excited about that.
That's true because Bayshore sold out this year already. Like it was sold. It's been sold out for a couple months.
Really?
Yeah,
It hasn't sold
there
out
was
in forever.
a couple years that Bayshore did not sell out, or didn't sell out early anyway, and now it's like they're back to being a rare thing to get in the middle of. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting that you're. So, are you saying that your numbers are back to where they were pre-COVID?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
That's
we
amazing.
We were moving in that direction last year. We didn't quite make it, but I think we're going to be at least as big as the pre-COVID years. So
Wow.
I'm
Wow.
excited about that.
Yeah, that is awesome. Speaking of Grand Rapids, any change to Grand Rapids? Any course change? Anything like that? I'm just curious.
The course will be the same. We're once again we're doing the run through the rapids right after the 5K and 10K. Run through the rapids was put on by the YMCA Service Club since 1969, when about 7 or 8 guys decided they wanted to see if they could run a marathon, and then they started putting it on the next year in '70 as a every year event. Started out as a Grand Valley Marathon, in fact.
Grand Rapids Marathon.
No, Grand Valley Marathon.
What wasn't it? I saw a
You gotta get up on that.
Yeah, get right
I
up
saw
here.
a bib in I saw a
There you
bib in the classic race office that said Grand Rapids Marathon.
Well, there was a Greater Grand Rapids Marathon for 2 years in like '85 and '86.
wasn't I
different
thought
thing.
Joe told me that was a different thing.
Yeah.
Joe told me that was what the original Grand Rapids Marathon was that.
Yeah,
Oh.
well, the YMCA Service Club started putting on, and it ended up being called the Grand Valley Marathon. They ran from Grand Valley into town. Some guy got shot one year during it.
Sweet.
Stray bullet hit him in the head. He didn't knock
And
him
he kept
over.
running.
He kept running. In fact, he made the press a couple 3 years ago. They looked him up, and I've still got clippings that had Francine had saved from this guy had a bullet in his head from getting shot during the
Was it-
running
And
the
eventually
marathon.
he went to found the Grand Rapids Marathon.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Was it during deer season or something?
I don't know. It was just a 22, and it was just
Oh.
a stray. It was probably somebody target pressing
Yeah.
out in the farmland out there, and he just happened to be the wrong place, wrong time.
Oh wow.
It's a 1 in a million shot.
Yeah.
Well, for those that just saw, we have Rudy joining us. Welcome, Rudy. Thank you for joining us.
I don't know where the camera is.
It's here.
It's everywhere. Yeah,
it's
you're-
here right now. So
they
there
got
we
us from
go.
every
There we
angle. There
go.
must be
Now I
one back
got you.
there, too.
Yep.
You'd
And,
think that would happen a gunshot in Detroit, but you know,
Not Grand
not in
Rapids.
Allendale.
not in West Michigan.
Yeah. So Rudy has done pictures for a lot of Don's races over the years, and is continuing to do photographs for different races and things like that. We've had him on the podcast before and talked about having him on again, but just haven't worked out yet.
Now's the perfect time.
Now
here he is.
Yeah.
Why not? I've had a couple. The insults are gonna fly.
Oh, here we go.
This is
Now,
gonna be fun.
Rudy's the guy we go to. And if I want to know anything about almost anything, I can call Rudy because he's like so well connected everywhere, and it's like he'll know, where something is that fell off a truck. He'll know.
Forget about it.
He'll he just knows shit. I mean, excuse me. He just knows stuff.
And when I don't, I make it up.
Yeah,
So.
yeah,
Yeah,
kinda-
nobody-
and that's kind of like me too.
Yeah.
If you say it with confidence, who's
No
gonna argue
kidding.
with you?
Right. Yeah.
Trick is
That's all it
act like
takes.
you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Rudy does that really well. I
does.
swear I could believe him
He's a
just about
professional.
anything. No, I'm not saying you're a liar or anything.
He's a
I'm
good
just saying
BSer. He's a good
you're
Thank
just
you.
a really good.
resourceful.
He's
He's such a
resourceful.
friendly face. Like
He's a diamond in the rough.
yeah, he is a diamond in the rough. I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
He's just a
Thanks. Yeah.
diamond.
I'm
He's just a
I'm
diamond.
just rough.
yeah.
Don, what is your connection with PT Sports Pro? Let's just talk about that a little bit.
Oh,
just,
yeah, well-
yeah.
Terrence and I got together the first time when we were planning the Grand Rapids Marathon in 2004. Before then, they say we need a sports medicine outfit, and he was working with Dr. Ed over at Metro, and it was just one of those things that just happened. And since then, he ran his first marathon after he got involved with me. He's run, I don't know, 40 of them now or something.
Oh, wow.
He's one of those guys that just, but we had an instant connection. He's one of those guys that just knows how to do stuff. And then as I went on, he helped me find out that I needed, I had a torn meniscus one time, and he's doing some therapy, and he twists me a little bit, and he says, well, you might have a torn meniscus. We better get Ed in here to look at that. Well, next thing you know, I'm getting arthroscopic surgery. But he's worked me through some PT. He's worked me through some training, and we're just good friends. He's worked me through a few beers as well. So,
Yeah.
We work together a lot. We've been referring each other to clients and getting people involved with.
well, he helped you quite a bit. I think it was last fall where he got you back running a lot more than what you were.
Yeah, we were. I was like, I don't know if I want to be a runner as much anymore. I've run 328 marathons so far, and I had both knees replaced in 2020, and it's been hard to come back from that. I've done 3 marathons on them, but it's like, do I really need to? Do I really want to? And so he kind of helped me get back in and like do some training, and so it was just a really good connection. He had quit his job at Mary Free Bed. He's going to build PT Sports Pro, so we're sharing a lot of information about that.
Yeah.
But he had some extra time, and I had some extra desire to get a little bit of training under my belt, and so it just kind of worked out. We'd get together on Monday mornings and do some fun stuff about a year ago, and went on through the summer a little bit.
Well, they have a Don Kern Memorial
Well, yeah.
recovery room.
I
there
was going to
now.
mention that. Yeah.
But I wondered why there's a hyperbaric chamber in there.
Well, actually, the reason is somebody had a hyperbaric chamber that they wanted to get rid of, and they gave it to Terrence.
Dave.
And that seemed to be
It
the
was
room
Dave.
to put it in because you want to chill out. That's the place to chill out.
I've never
Yeah.
chilled out. I mean, Michael Jackson, I think, slept in one of those, right?
He may have.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
know.
That didn't work out so well for him.
Yeah.
I think it was
of
other
course, of course,
things.
the anesthesia probably was a thing.
Yeah, it was
too.
the other
Yeah,
part. I think
yeah,
that
the
was the
other,
other part.
some of the other things that didn't work out so
One
well.
of the other things that didn't work out so well. So.
I was wondering, if you helped, acquire that or what.
I
why
had
that's-
nothing to do with it.
Okay.
but he does.
But he had room in his room.
Yeah.
but he does have some of those.
It's the Don Kern Memorial Junk Room. Is
Yeah, he does have some of those rapid reboot
I saw
things
those in there too.
I'll tell you what, and in fact, Dave helped me get a set of those for myself when I had my knees replaced, and
You have a set of that
I
those
have-
at your house.
I have those at my house. I'll tell you what, that is a cool recovery thing to have. You get in there and it just squeezes your legs and gives you the just like it'll work that
I
lactic
have a
acid
mental
out.
picture of you sitting on the couch watching, like binge watching the Kardashians.
Well, you know,
With those on.
Sorry.
That's where you went.
That's right where I
I'm
went.
not a Kardashian fan, but I have, done.
Not that he says.
Right.
Well, yeah, I know I'm not really, seriously. But anyway, yeah, I've got a lot of other things that probably, I don't need to be watching, but on the other, but Kardashians aren't one of them. So
Well, cool. No, that's really. I'm trying to awkwardly
fine with
like. All right, how do we move on from this? Let's move on.
let's go to something else.
Yeah.
That's what's good
That's why
about
we
this.
bring Rudy in because he's,
I'm just trying to derail this train.
Yeah.
I know it.
He's a good derailer. But honestly, I can sit
I'm
back
loving
and just
that
let it
part.
happen.
I'm loving that part. That's
Yeah,
the part that I enjoy.
The
There's-
benefits of editing.
Well, there's a lot of history right now at this table
Oh yeah.
between the three of you.
Well, you're old too.
Well, no, that's not what I meant.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of personal history. You guys, all three of you, go back a long ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I met Rudy in the same coffee shop I met Terrence in the first time.
Yeah.
Really?
And I'm talking to somebody on the phone, and Rudy says, "Hold on a minute. There's a marathon in Grand Rapids."
2004.
And again, the beginning of a 20-some year friendship now.
Yeah.
And
20
yeah,
years ago.
yeah, we did.
2000.
We've
Yeah.
done marathons. Grand Rapids marathons run 20 times now. We're in the middle of planning for number 21.
Yeah, spring of 2004, I was training for Chicago, and it wasn't quite, didn't have my mileage up yet. I really hadn't run 15 miles yet.
And that was your first one?
And Chicago was my first one in 2004. And Don was like, I went up to run the Bayshore, and I ran the 10K that year. And he's like, you should just sign up for the marathon. I'm like, I haven't run 15 miles. Yeah, just do it. Just run slow. Just do it. Like, no, I'm not. I'm going to do my first one. We were doing the Higdon plan, and so every week was, I didn't want to get hurt.
So did you guys know each other then?
No,
No.
we met through Marcel running.
Okay, but that would have been after. So it wouldn't have
Yeah.
been long after that,
No,
though,
it's
right?
in 2007.
Seven?
No, I
Right
think
in
it
the
was
same thing because
08.
Mars Hill was
7, 8.
doing a aid station the first year,
Yeah.
and that's when I got involved with them a little bit.
Yeah, right
It
over
was
the
fun.
footbridge
Yeah.
on Indian Mounds.
So was that the same time as Clint? Because Clint falls in there somewhere too, right?
Well, Clint you knew Clint longer than me, and I met Clint, and that's
Yeah.
how I met you.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Clint through
Okay.
Mars Hill Running Group. Yeah.
Yeah.
2003,
Okay.
2004.
Gotcha. Yeah, I say that all to say that, like, it's easy to sit back and just kind of let you guys
Insult
have at
each
it.
other?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, Rudy and I have been playing a lot of cards together on Friday, Saturday nights.
Yeah.
But
It's all a blur.
so there's nobody stopping us from giving each other crap. So that,
Yeah.
like everybody else wants to play nice. We don't always want to play nice.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I am
There's no
definitely a
ceiling then.
peacemaker.
Yeah.
So
So you'd be
when
really-
when I sense tension, I definitely try to like.
there's no tension.
Let's move this.
There's no tension.
No. Everything Mitch says about me is true. And vice versa.
Fortunately or unfortunately, either one. Well, Don. Yeah, let's just touch base on Grand Rapids really quick again. The marathon coming up. No real changes to the course. You said numbers are up, which is great.
Numbers are up at this point. So this point last year or the last few years, you're back to where you would expect them to be at this point.
Yeah,
in
even a little
registration.
above that. But like you said, we also, like you said, incorporated the 5K and 10K. So kind of making it all part of the same event
And
now.
the 5K and 10K are on Saturday though.
No, they're on Sunday.
Are they on?
Yeah, we moved into Sunday a couple years ago because the city bills us for races beforehand. And
Wait,
when,
I was going to say cheapskate.
and when they no, and they gave the bill to the Y Service Club, and I got a call from Sid, said, hey, we're going to have to go virtual on this because we can't afford the bill. And
Wow.
I called him back about 5 minutes later and said, no, we're going to put it on Sunday. We'll start it after the marathon starts. And I'm already paying for the cops and the barricades and the street closures and every other thing. You save all that money. We send kids to summer camp with that. You know, it's a YMCA
Oh, you're
service
trying to
club
work
thing.
on my guilt side now. So I like it when I can do, like, if I don't sign up for a race and I can do the 5K or 10K Saturday and the marathon on Sunday, that's a good deal.
Yeah,
You're
well,
just a
if
bling.
yeah.
Can I say hua?
Well,
Something like
sorry,
that.
but,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
just want the
but-
extra
but, you
I
medal.
want both.
But the nice thing is, it also allows us to have people bring their families with them
Yeah.
to town.
Yeah.
And not everybody's spouse is up for a half or a marathon or whatever, and so they've got a 5K and 10K, and they can get a couple beers ahead before their
Yeah, but
spouse
see,
gets
again,
there.
now you're playing on my other side. They're going to drink all the beer before I get there.
Like the second year of the Grand Rapids Marathon where we had to run out and get a keg of Busch Light.
Okay, yeah, it was Heineken or
That
something.
was
but
Busch- it was
like
Busch Light.
It was like
Everybody was gone, and the homeless guys were dumping out the bared water bottles, filling
Oh,
them
my
out
full of beer.
goodness.
Yeah.
and putting them in their bike baskets.
We seriously, we had, it
was
was
awesome.
nice. We had something. They were helping clean up.
They
though.
were, yeah.
They were helping clean up, and
Eating
we
the
were paying them
leftover
with
food.
beer, and they were helping us. They're eating food. We had
More
it
community
left over.
action here.
Yeah.
It was
We
great.
were doing a service.
Yeah.
We took care of it. We take care of them. They take care of us.
That's my favorite Grand Rapids Marathon memory. Was the first year we were downtown, which was the second year of the race, so 2005, and there was one lady that was finishing like way after everybody, and Don leaves the finish line open for whoever. I mean, if you're still out there, he'll wait for you. And so we were waiting to finish cleaning up, and we were taking some of the apples and playing like who could hit the telephone pole 25 yards
Oh,
away.
my goodness.
Just waiting for, waiting to finish
I
cleaning
was
up.
staying away from that end of the thing. I was
You
still
were.
over there waiting for somebody to cross the finish line. But
We were skiing behind the quads. We put one of those rubber or the plastic cart tops down. You stand on that and grab the back of the cart, and then somebody would rip through the Y parking lot.
yeah.
I wish you would've loved it.
That
Oh
was
my
when we
God.
still owned all of the lids to the garbage cans.
Yeah. Oh.
And
Oh, my goodness.
and it was really funny because like the end of the whole day, and it was funny because all the stuff was cleaned up, and these people, the last people are finishing. Francine comes out with this big tray full of food for these people to have something to eat. I said, "Where did you get that tray?" Well, it was a lid to a garbage can, is what it was. And they were clean, and they were fine.
Yeah.
She had like laid out paper towels on top of
Because
it.
they were all brand new garbage cans
Yeah, they
you'd
were-
never
yeah.
used before.
Yeah. And so.
And one that hadn't been skated or skied
Yeah.
on.
I
Yeah.
was like, where in the world did that come from?
Boy, I wish there would have been
No, it's-
phones back then to
You
just
know,
grab and take
I don't know where
video
all the lids
of.
went to. We don't own any of them anymore.
Unsolicited plug. I've been giving Don a hard time a little bit already, but
Yeah.
they do have one of the best finish lines. So
Yeah.
beer at the finish, the beer garden right there, ice cream at the finish. It is a fantastic, and I've run a lot of races. It is
Yeah.
a fantastic finish. So
Yeah, it is. It's a great atmosphere.
it really
so
is.
I have a question for you. I've been thinking about this lately with the new soccer stadium in the news. I don't know if you've seen where they plan to install
I don't know
that.
how anybody couldn't see that.
Right.
Especially when people are asking me about it every freaking
Yeah.
week.
Okay. So, what do you, I mean, I can't imagine that race happening there with there not being a parking lot for the Y.
Well, first of all, how long have they been talking about the amphitheater?
Right. I know.
I think I've still got 5 years anyway.
Yeah.
Before somebody finally gets around to putting the thing in. And I might be wrong, and sorry to all the downtown 2.0 people, but, when it happens, it'll happen.
If it happens, right.
If it happens, there's a lot of money to be raised. There's a lot of approvals. There's asking people if they want to increase our hotel tax. All that stuff is going on. And I don't mind. I love to see our town grow and everything. But they're not going to mess up Winter Street. We'll figure out a way. Maybe we'll have the finish party inside one end of the soccer stadium or something.
Did you see that She Runs is moving to the zoo?
I did. Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to.
Yeah, She Runs doesn't even want to be on. Well, that part of that is just saving the cost.
Yeah.
Because downtown permits are just so expensive.
Well, I tell you what, you've got a lot of cops, You got to, I mean, and I'll tell you what, I ran just the 10K at the Riverbank run,
I thought you were going to say she runs.
and and I mean, there were cops everywhere. We had Grand Valley, we had Granville, we had Kent County, we had City. Those guys are all getting paid overtime.
Yeah.
The races are getting the bills for that.
Yeah.
She runs is saying, hey, you know what? This is a charity fundraising event. We got to move it out of downtown area
Yeah.
because we're getting our lunch handed to us, you know, or eaten by somebody else or something.
Yeah.
Some analogy I can't come
That
up
didn't
with
make
right
any
now.
sense to it.
And,
We're getting our butts handed to us.
yeah,
hungry.
so
There's
so,
vegetable
it's
cups.
just
You can have
not-
some.
It's just not working, you know. And so they
Yeah.
decided, oh, let's move it out to the zoo, and then we'll run out of town. We'll save a lot of money on all the downtown expenses.
Yeah.
I don't know how much fencing and barricades and everything else costs, but that ain't cheap.
Well, you do from a Grand Rapids Marathon standpoint.
I think
Do,
you
but
you
know,
own all
my-
that stuff, though.
My
don't you?
stuff is I don't, but all my stuff is on the west side of the freeway, which means we're not tying up the whole downtown. We're not messing around with all the business activity going on down there.
Oh.
You know, I'd hate to see the bill for the Riverbank run, but you know, ours doesn't get any cheaper every year either.
Yeah.
But you know, we run a quick loop through downtown at the beginning of the day, and by the time we're 5 miles, we're headed out of town. So, you know, it's just expensive. They had to move it, and I'm not crazy about when they put it, but they did manage to. They moved it from Saturday to Sunday, so they're not the same day as our 10 and 20 training run, because that was a bit of a conflict. Gazelle is also one of our sponsors, so you know, we work together pretty well.
Yeah.
most of the time,
Work that
so,
out. Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah, so yeah, but we talked to them about, hey, you need to put this on some other day because we're using the bike paths that day for 10 and 20 training. So, and they were like, oh, cool, yeah, we'll just. So it all worked out good. So
Did the zoo work with them like that? Like how? How is the zoo able to just like let them come in there? Is the zoo open at that time?
I don't have any idea. And the zoo is a. I mean, they probably got permits or
Yeah.
permission or whatever. They talk to the zoo.
I mean, that's really good. I'm just thinking that's
Yeah.
really cool of them to work with them and be able to make that work.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of parking there. It's
Yeah.
We used to hold the 20-mile Grand Rapids Marathon training run from the zoo.
from the zoo parking lot, basically, and we
Yeah.
never had to get any permission or anything.
I
It's
never
just, you're in a
asked
park,
them at
you
all.
know.
We'd get a couple porta potties over there, and
Yeah.
we were kind of
Really?
on the, I guess, south side of the park.
Well, there's at least 3 different running groups
I
that
know.
meet there.
Well,
every
that's
week.
what I was
Yeah.
thinking too. Is you've got a bunch of people that meet down there and just park
Well,
anyway.
there used to be.
Wait, are you trying to bully us now?
Yes, I am.
Hey, I told you.
Are we? I don't think that's how
got-
those work.
No, I was told to come in here because other people are waiting to come.
We know that, but we got to finish our conversation first.
Yeah, but wrap it up, boys.
Wrap it up.
Listen to you talking about wrapping it up.
Is he long-winded?
What they say, the pot calling the kettle black.
There you go.
Well, Don.
Wrap it up. There's a couple of people.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
wrap. Don,
okay.
thank you so much. Anything you want to add as you part?
Yeah, I'm just excited about this. We're 21 years. I got a lot of guys, and like Mitch and Rudy. We've been together for a long time, and we're not the kids we used to be. We're all moving up in age of ways, and we're ending up with the normal every guy problems that you
Yeah.
have as you get older.
Yeah.
And you know what? But we're still having fun. We're still out here having a ball.
Yeah.
Stuff is going the way we want it to, and we're still loving the stuff we're doing. So
Wow. Awesome.
that's what I got to say.
Awesome. Thanks so much for joining us again, Don, on the
Yeah.
podcast again. And we're going to transition here.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Now I can eat my stuff.
Well, you could have the whole time.
Yeah.
Could have the whole time, I know, but I'm on TV.
Pause 1 second. Don't nobody say anything.
Yeah. You next?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Hello.
It's coming back.
All right.
Where'd you get candy?
I want to turn those off. It'll help. Shauna, could you put those headphones on?
I could.
it'll really help. You can actually hear then when you're into the mic and when you're not. And then I will. You got it. And then
Mess up her hair.
thank you. Well, yeah. So we have Timmy, right?
Yeah.
Is what I'm told. What do you go by, Timmy?
To Terrence, yes.
Terrence. So what
Yes,
is your
and
name?
Maybe my mother. My name is Tim.
Tim. And Terrence
Timothy.
so passionately
Timothy to
called
be-
him Timmy.
Yes.
And Sean joining us on the podcast. Timmy's actually. Tim.
doesn't
It's just
matter.
naturally going to come out Timmy.
That's okay. It doesn't matter.
I like little Timmy.
Little Timmy is actually part of PT Sports Pro,
Actually, no.
No.
I'm part of my team Triumph West Michigan.
but you help. Oh, that's what it was. You were here. You were here helping when
Yes.
when we came. Yeah.
Yes.
So part of my team Triumph.
Yes.
So Tim, you got to get into the mic though. Is the only thing.
Oh, yes.
Because
Is this better?
yeah.
I did
Can you
take
hear me
out.
now?
I did take out the gate. So at least, but thank you for that
Yeah.
because. But I did take off the gate. So
And we
won't
know
have the
Sean
issue.
talks plenty loud.
Don't have to worry about Sean. She likes to talk
hello,
and talk
hello.
a lot, which is a good thing. That's a good thing most times, just not when
time.
you're trying to break
Is
PRs.
she a diamond in the rough though?
Yeah,
Wait
just a
minute,
diamond.
I listened to that the other day.
Just a
Hold on.
diamond. Just a diamond. Well, Timmy, let's talk
Diamond in the
about
rough.
let's talk about my team Triumph. Well, first of all, let's just talk about how did you become associated or friends with Terrence? Because obviously there's something there.
Oh, well, long time ago, I was doing a lot of the races in and around West Michigan. And how I kind of met Terrence was, I'm the type of guy that likes to be at a race pretty early in the morning because I don't want to fight with people or cars when it comes to parking. So I get there and I see this, crazy cloud truck and trailer at a race and all these people putting together these things. And I'm like, God, what is that? So every race I'd get a little bit closer to them and try and figure out what are those people doing over there? And I need to kind of, it looks kind of interesting. So then you start to meet the people involved in that, and one of them is Terrence. And, and then I started thinking, well, hey, are you guys going to be at this race? Because I'm planning on running, but I can come early and help. Well, the next thing you know, that's how this was born for me. It happened to be the bridge run. I don't know, I think, 2012. And I said, yeah, I'll be there. And they said, okay, we're going to be here at 5:30 in the morning. And I was like, wait, that's early. That's really early. But was there and watched them. I didn't participate and be an angel at that point. I was just, I think they called me the super volunteer. But got to know
okay.
Terrence through that. And then our friendship started with that. And then, you end up with a little nagging injury here and there. And then he says, well, I'm a PT. Stop in and see me. Or come on over to the house and we'll do that. That's kind of typically how it started. We would do that. And then the injuries got serious, and then I started seeing him actually as a patient.
Gotcha.
So
And then you wound up part of.
from there I ended up with a board position, and that kind of morphed into what I do today. Because now, as Terrence took a step back and is now the national director for my team Triumph, I ended up as the manager for the West Michigan chapter.
Gotcha.
So
I noticed you didn't put the teams together this year.
I did.
But somebody else set the email
Yeah,
out.
so
So you got an assistant? Are you that fancy?
well, so that was one of the benefits of having the relationship between my team Triumph and PT Sports Pro. Terrence was a founding member of my team Triumph, but when he opened his business, one of the things that I always struggled with, we do about 30 races a year, and it's a lot of work. Putting the teams all together, sending them out, sending the email out to everybody, and answering all those questions. So one of the things that Terrence did when he opened up his business is one of his administrative assistants, he carved out some of her time to help do all that. So her name is Jill McDermott. She works here for Terrence, and she has a full-time position with Terrence, but about half of her time is dedicated to do things for MTT.
Okay.
So Jill is gracious enough now to put the race grids together and the protocols and send emails and ask questions. And she's learning along the way how to do those things, what she
You
needs
need to
do.
change her signature though, so it makes you look more important. So it says assistant to or something
Oh,
like that.
I guess I could do that. Yeah, I could
we
do
gotta
that.
do. We gotta,
Assistant to Timmy.
yeah.
That sounds very professional.
Yeah.
I'll have her change that because we did set up a separate email address for her so that, because I told her we don't want to get that confused with your PT Sports Pro
Oh,
emails.
yeah.
Let's keep those things separate. And Terrence was pretty appreciative of that because she does have a lot of billing responsibilities and to do all that for this business.
Yeah, that could be very confusing if the wrong signature goes out.
Right. We did. Yeah, I didn't want her to have to think about that, so we separate email accounts. And just
So you
manage it.
got roped into hanging all the pictures here.
Well, no, actually, I didn't hang any of the
You
pictures.
didn't? I thought
No.
you were you
No,
putting
he had-
backs?
He had an assistant for that.
Yeah, no.
Weren't you here doing?
I
thought
think you were here setting up for a podcast. I think the day that you were here, I ended up.
Oh no, you were. What were you doing?
was
You
probably
were here
working.
doing. Oh, were you?
At my real job.
Oh, okay.
What? Do you have another job?
I do have another job, not
Weird.
just MTT, but
He's moonlighting with his real job.
yeah.
My
With
team
that-
Triumph's his real job.
right. So I lost power at my house,
Oh,
and I called Terrence and
yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Hey, do you have power at the business?" He goes, "Yeah," and I go, "All right, I'm on my way," so I could make a connection here and work
Yes,
for the rest
that's
of the day.
what it was.
So that's why I was, and then you guys were all setting up. And I'm like, okay, that's my cue. I'm out because they were using this room. I'm like, I don't need to be
Oh,
in here.
that's right. That's what it was.
You could have.
That's
You could have hung
right.
out here and worked, and we would just.
Yeah.
You would have been just like, what's that guy doing?
Oh,
over
that
there?"
would have been
it would've-
awesome.
it would've
That
been
would have been awesome. Just have you sitting at the end of the table working while we're doing a podcast around you.
doing your old thing.
That would have been fun.
We would have called you out once in a while. You just got to say something dumb once in a while. It's
Yeah.
That's all I do.
But the benefits of the relationship with MTT and PT Sports Pro is Terrence took the opportunity where we have an office in the building, so then we can have a more concrete location that solidifies even more our nonprofit status as a chapter for My Team Triumph. So we'll, instead of a PO box for mail and those type of things, we'll switch that over to here, so that the mail will come here and then somebody will get it, because I always forget to go to that PO box. all the time.
Oh, yeah. It's nice to have an office.
It is, and it's nice. And Jill helps us with the merchandise that we have that's available for purchase. She's able to help us organize that, inventory it, so now we know what we have instead of it all just being in boxes and go, oh, that's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, there was a room over there that had a whole bunch of that stuff in there for a while.
Yeah, there is. We organized it much better now. Put it all away. That it is on racks and in much nicer totes. Because Terrence says I can't have all these ripped up
Yeah.
cardboard boxes. You know, there's an image he's promoting.
Yeah, yeah.
with
Did
this
you have
100%.
You got pink boxes on?
No, because
What?
those are really hard to find.
Oh, yeah.
We got black ones with yellow tops. One, because they're cost effective.
Yeah.
The pink ones were probably 4 times as
Oh,
expensive.
of course they are.
No, spare no expense. See, we got pink champagne.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Well, Sean, we have Sean joining us also. Sean, I have to ask, has your Southwest flight changed recently?
Oh my God! Did yours change again?
No, I
Okay.
think it's
Yeah.
funny.
No.
They keep
Yeah,
on
he's-
changing it
He's
on
flying
us.
at a decent time now.
Well, if-
Sorry.
Do you know that even after we changed from Brian's,
Uh-huh.
I got another one. I've changed
Oh,
it
my
twice.
goodness.
So I'm a little. So I keep checking it every like.
I
3 or 4
check
days.
it when Sean sends me a message to say, "Did your flight change?" I'm like, "No," and then I go check. I'm like, "Well, I guess it did."
I'd like to know where you guys are going.
California.
California, Lake Tahoe,
Oh, nice.
for Western States.
Yeah, we're crewing a friend at Western States.
Oh,
Yes,
Fair
100
enough.
miles. We get to
ride around in a van, I hope.
ride around in the van, get
Who's
really
dri-
smelly in the van because there's nothing you can do but just hang out.
Sleep sitting up in a van.
Yep.
I've done that before.
And it most likely will get into the right around 100 to even like could be 110.
The air conditioning in that van doesn't work for the crap either, just so you know.
Oh, fantastic.
Any
I don't-
van, yeah.
You're
I
gonna
don't
stink.
know. I did send one of the pros that I follow on Instagram posted. She lives
Who's
in
that?
Southern Sally McRae.
Oh
so,
yeah,
So if you had a girl crush,
that's
it would be
definitely.
Yellow Runner. Yes.
yeah.
But she is training on the course, and she posted a picture of is it a copperhead snake?
Oh, really?
Oh
On the middle
yeah.
of the course, and just noted that this is what you're coming, like Southern California. Welcome to trail
Yeah.
running. Keep your eyes open. You guys, when we had our meeting, when I brought up snakes, you said not to worry about it.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about
You
it.
sent me that picture the other day,
I did.
You don't have to worry about it.
and I just ignored it.
I know.
What picture? What picture was that?
Of the snake,
I'll send it to you.
because she's
You
not,
don't have to worry about it.
she's not enjoying it.
Just don't get out of the van.
There's bears out there too. so-
Well, the plan would be that we run
Bears.
with him. So,
Yeah.
so
Oh,
part of
bears.
crewing is you make sure they have what they need at aid stations, but then you're also their motivation between aid stations sometimes.
Yeah.
black bears, you chase them. So you
No, don't worry, Sean. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, I'm not
You're
worried about bears
fortunate.
right now.
You're fortunate Mitch is not going.
Black bears are.
Sounds like he wants to go though.
Yeah, well,
I do.
he would.
I got too much.
It's more of a It's only so many days in a year to run a marathon, and it's his anniversary. He's
I'm
done
doing
that twice already on his anniversary. So
Yeah. Well, she went with me for one of them.
she did the second one, yeah. But Sean, let's just talk about you and Terrence.
Yeah.
When did you guys meet? And I say Terrence, but honestly, it could be Dave. It could be any of the PT Sports Pro people here. Because I know you have a long history with Dave as well.
And with his wife. So
Yeah.
you're
With
really
Tara,
good
yeah.
friends
Yeah,
with Tara.
Dave's wife and I, Tara, have been friends since probably 2011. I met her, so I met Dave obviously through her, and then at some point, I don't even remember where I met Terrence, but it was down the road. I'm assuming a race. Maybe it was at my first My Team Triumph event that I did. Probably. So yeah, I've known Dave for a long time. Him and Terrence have both been a great asset to my longevity.
So wait, you met Dave and Tara about the same time as you met me.
Yeah.
I probably met you before because we did.
But Lewis is less memorable.
Well,
Well, she's not best friends with. She's very good friends with Tara.
yes.
Dave's husband or Dave's husband,
Dave's
Dave's
husband.
wife.
Like
Yeah.
how I turned. Like how I turned that.
No,
But
so it was training. Tara and I trained for Boston, I believe, 2011.
Okay.
I met her in 11, and we went to Boston in 2012 or something. So it was.
so Ironman, I did Ironman Louisville in 13, and we definitely knew each other before that.
Yeah.
I mean, we were swimming at 8th Street Pond.
Were we
swamp.
swimming?
Well,
You
I was
were
getting
fighting-
attacked by weeds. I was getting attacked by weeds, and but yeah, I would swim there and freak out about the swamp monsters and that.
I feel like I remember our swim was me by you saying like, just lay on your back and just relax, just relax.
There may have been that a time or two, but
It's that weedy though, isn't it?
it's
very
terrible.
weedy,
It
yeah.
is terrible. If
Oh,
you have
that-
any fear of open water,
that-
you don't swim in that one.
Weeds freak me out. I don't know. What
Well,
it
and
is,
these
'cause
were
you don't-
super
'cause they're
long,
Yeah,
like
you got-
up
you
at
get
the
tangled up in
surface.
'em.
You get
Yeah.
literally
There
your
could be
legs get
snakes in
tangled.
there.
Yeah.
Copperheads even.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
Yeah.
Snapping turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That for sure.
All that. Piranhas, alligators,
Come
all
on.
that.
You're being
The
ridiculous.
alligators. There was an alligator.
Yeah.
At 8th Avenue?
I think
Yeah.
so. You don't remember that?
I'm out.
Clint, we got to talk to Clint. Clint has the story on that. That's for real. But yeah, okay. so we go back. You got involved with them through My Team Triumph,
Yes.
and you've done that
Oh,
several times.
yeah. Mostly the tries.
Most of the tries we get her to do.
yeah.
We just did it for Grand Rapids Marathon.
Tried
Oh,
also
yeah, Grand Rapids Marathon. I've done last few years. I've done
Yeah.
Grand Rapids Marathon, but mainly
Bridge run.
Mitch will always register for that and then say, I want to run with Sean.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every time. He did
Well-
that to me for the riverbank, and I'm like, well, she didn't sign up.
She raced that.
Well, then let me reach out to her. That's what he would say.
That's what he would do.
Yeah.
I think I got her mad last year
Yes.
at Riverbank. I think you were mad because I was like,
Just at Riverbank?
Just at Riverbank.
there might have been other times. Possible. But I think I was like, I had everybody bugging her, and she's
Yep.
like, I'm racing.
Oh, yes.
And she was angry.
Yeah.
Yep.
It got, well, because you even came up and asked me, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
like-
I told him no.
Yeah, I said, Mitch said he wants to race with you. Is that okay? She goes, no, I am racing this on my own.
Oh, gotcha.
Speaking of, though, Grand Rapids
You
Tri.
just don't know how to push yet, Tim.
Yeah.
You guys, My Team Triumph is looking for athletes for Grand Rapids Tri.
Yes.
So,
A lot of our
Lewis,
races.
if you want to throw your hat back in.
Oh,
Do I have to
please,
do the
Lewis.
whole thing?
Yes.
No.
Can I just do the run?
Can you bike? Come on. You
I can do the bike.
No, we'll find somebody to swim. I'll get you on a team to swim that has a swimmer.
For Grand Rapids? When's Grand Rapids?
June 8th or 9th. It's a
Yeah,
Sunday.
whatever that. Yeah.
That's
Well,
Sunday
I
that
can't.
weekend, the 9th.
Well, unfortunately, Sundays are out for me. They're a work day.
Oh,
Yeah.
hate when that happens.
Yeah, and there's only a limited number, as
Oh,
we
we
know.
found that out.
Yeah, as
Yeah.
we know, I can only take so many off. I actually had to not go on a trip with Mitch that I wanted to go on, but I couldn't.
And he missed out. It was the
So.
best trip ever.
I hate when that happens.
I mean, I don't know.
Darn those other jobs.
Yeah, there's those things we have to do, you
Yes.
know, to be able to do the stuff we like. But Sean, yeah. So how are things looking for you? Because you are super busy right now. You are, man. like, are you just done with the 50K, 50K? Because you've done a few of those now where you do 50K bike, 50K run.
It's a 50K run and then a 100-mile bike.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
a 50K
come on,
bike.
come on.
100-mile
100-mile
bike.
Yep, I
selling
did
her
that.
short.
Yeah,
that.
sorry.
Yeah, Lewis.
Oh, wait. I just heard. You just went sub 2.
I went sub 2.
Nice. Congrats.
Without
Yes.
trying, with a bunch
Yeah.
of BS.
I wasn't, yeah, it was kind of, last time I did it was first and last time was 2019, so I'm 5 years older, and last year I was like 204, so I was like, if I can be around that and hold on to that a little bit longer as I age, like I'll be happy with that. And next thing I know, I'm on Indian Mountains and I see the 2-hour club sign up ahead of me. So it's like, just keep that sign in sight. And next thing I know, I'm running next to him.
Oh, my
Like
goodness.
I don't know what happened.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that. That
Yeah.
is that. And so for those that are listening that don't know, sub 2 hours at Riverbank Run is something that a lot of people try to achieve. It's a 7:42-ish pace, which is that's a great time. That's a good race. So it's
Was that a PR
goal.
then? Was that a PR as well?
No, 2019 was my best, but I was within, I think, probably 15 seconds of that.
Okay.
So you didn't give
I
it just quite enough.
I didn't give it choice because I kept waiting for that blow up. I kept thinking like I said, I was hoping to do like 204 or better. So it was like, I'm just going to run hard through the hills if I blow up or whatever. And then I'm like, I feel good and I'm doing pace. So it's like, I'm going to try to get to halfway at this pace. And then I was like, I still feel fine. Let's get to 12. And next thing I know, there's the finish line.
I think we're going to line you up next year with MTT, and we had 2 captains with solo angels that made the 2-hour club too.
Oh, that would
There
be
we
impossible for
go.
me. That's way
So,
too much work.
I am not going to be impressed with you until you do that. Just so you know.
Oh my gosh.
The bar's here.
Yeah.
That is,
No.
I ran with who is it that runs Bridge Run, and he always runs with the same captain, and he is. I got grouped with him and Miguel, I think, and we ended up dropping Miguel because
You're not
this.
supposed to say that right now.
Oh,
unless he's
I'm not.
listening.
Well, he would know because this guy is fast. Like he'll push the cart. He'll push the. Is that what you call it? A cart?
Yeah,
What
the stroller.
wheelchair. The
Racing
stroller. He'll push that thing 90% of the race if he has to. But he will. He probably places. Like I don't even know where he places in Bridge Run, but it is fast. Does it
What
ring
if
a?
it's Pedro?
Nope.
No,
Nope.
I don't know.
Anyway, I got
Yeah.
matched. I got teamed up with him. Terrence is like, I'll throw you in with. Wish I could remember his name, but because I didn't necessarily like, I don't know. I was like, well, go where you need me, Terrence. And he wanted one more person for this team. He's like, I'll put you in with so and so. Holy cow, man! It was like, hang on. I could not believe he pushed the cart that fast. And I was in
That's-
shape. I was in
yeah.
shape then.
Lewis,
That's
next
not
time
easy.
reach out to me. I can find it a little better for you.
I didn't mind it, but I wouldn't want to do that today. That's for sure.
No.
It was
You gotta
fast.
suck it up.
It was fast. I need to go
that's
back
it.
and look it up.
I thought I was going to run with Johnny this year. And then I got put with Jacob, and it turned out, I was like, I got to be open to this. Like, I was going to have fun because we had a lot of fun with Johnny last year.
Yeah, that was fun.
But Jacob was a good time, too. Like, I had just as much fun. So it's like, it doesn't matter who you're with.
Nope.
It
No,
really, it really
it
does
doesn't.
not.
Not
I
at
got
all.
to talk to Johnny at the beginning, chat with him for a few minutes, and then I met Jacob, and the kid, he was funny.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
he
he had
took-
a great time. He always does.
And he talked the whole time, and real straight-faced.
Yep.
Like real, and he was like, and we have this fantastic picture of us crossing the finish line where his hands are up in the air.
Aw.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I think Modesto's looking one way and the other guy's looking straight ahead. It was a cool picture.
That's very cool. Well, hey, how many, if you know any of these numbers, even generally speaking, how many captains? I don't know. I'm trying to think. Kind of put in perspective. Like, let's say a Grand Rapids race or maybe a Bridge Run. How many captains are you putting through like those races or joining those races?
So for the Riverbank last weekend,
Perfect.
we had 20 captains and 61 angels.
61
That's a record,
angels.
right?
Yeah, that's the most that I've seen since I've been involved with
How
the
many chairs
organization.
do we actually have?
Probably
We-
21.
No,
No?
we probably could have. Probably 28.
Oh,
Where
wow.
We could have went to 8 more captains. The thing for us is always finding those angels.
Oh.
That will be able to push.
Okay.
We have to respect. Sean's been an angel with us a lot, but I also respect when she wants to race.
Yeah.
for
But not
herself.
anymore. See, you got to
So-
push more.
Yeah, well, I push a lot because come October, there's
Yeah.
a marathon that we, and I always look at her and go, "Hey, you got to run a marathon."
I'll
with
do the
me."
marathon. The Grand Rapids Marathon
Yeah.
is my
She
my,
does that
for sure
every
my,
year
my
with
team
us.
triumph.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm
And
not impressed
Tara-
unless you go sub 2 with a chair.
Yeah, Tara DePrado always runs the riverbank. That's her race
Okay.
with us. So every year she runs the riverbank with us. So that's really cool.
That's awesome.
do
So
that.
those, so if somebody wants to get involved, how do they do it?
The best way to get involved with my team Triumph, if you're a captain or an angel, on our website, which is mttwestmichigan.org, there's a button on there for the list of events, and it lists all of the events that we're doing for 2024. And you can pick an event, go through the sign up process. You sign up as a captain if you're the individual with the disability to go through, to be that person in the race. And then the rest is an angel. We also have with certain races, the bigger ones like the Riverbank this past weekend, we have opportunities for people to volunteer. So people can volunteer for the event and do that.
I think
Oh,
we need to
yeah.
be clear on that. We don't always need somebody to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
We need people that can help get captains in chairs. We need people at the finish line.
Yep.
All of that. It's not.
Tag
you don't
chairs.
have to run.
Yeah.
Tag chairs, because the captain's name's in the chair. Because one of the big things that we try and celebrate when we do that is it's all about celebrating the captain. And as Mitch and Sean know, even when I've done it, you've done it,
Yep.
is the joy in the captain when you're running past all the other athletes because you have an opportunity to pass some of them, that they start cheering for the captain.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
just brings a smile to their face because it's all about them. One of the biggest things I like to tell people that warms my heart to do that is it gives an opportunity for our captain and his family for them to, for a small period of time, take away the disability that they're living life with.
Yeah.
And they're just like everyone else.
Yeah.
They're getting that medal at the end, and it's hard to sit in that chair and
Yeah.
do those things, especially the distance of the riverbank and those longer distances, because I'm sure it's uncomfortable for them because they can't move.
Yep.
They're not doing anything. They're strapped in. So
And you do know, like when you do run. I mean, to give Sean a little bit of space. You have to do bathroom stops. You have to stop and take care of the captain. You have
Yeah.
to make sure that they can get something to drink. So it does take more time. So if you're looking to run fast, you're not going to run fast.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's part of it.
And most of our captains, the longer that you're out there, the better off. They want to be out there for a long time.
True.
And they want to experience the excitement of the day,
Yeah.
all of the people. And, the riverbank, I think they had close to 10,000 participants
Oh
this
man,
year.
that was big.
It was big. So they're growing. So which is nice because I think all of the races, when you start to talk to people, they're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those kind of things. So
How many volunteers? So let's say per captain, how many volunteers are you looking for to put on an event?
For like the riverbank, I think we had about a half a dozen that helped us, and then our board members all chip in.
Okay.
And then the board members that raced, usually by the end when the chairs come in, we're able to take care of that. The biggest need for volunteers when it comes to racing is anytime we do a triathlon. There's
Okay.
just so much more equipment, there's so many more moving parts
Yeah.
that where we need help because people will come in at different times and you've got to get boats to the water, boats back from the water, and then transition. Because
Yeah.
what we like to do in the triathlons and is allow those angels, you have to transition yourself. We really don't want you to have to worry about transitioning the captain. So we have volunteers that will move them from the
gotcha.
boat to the chair and then get the chair off their, connected
Oh, I
to
see
their
what you're
bike,
saying. Yeah.
and then disconnect it from their bike, get the front wheel on, so that by the time Sean Racing gets herself changed and ready
Yep.
to go on the bike, the chair's ready to go, she grabs her bike and she takes off. And the same thing when she comes in on the run, or her team comes in.
And at the end of the day, let's face it, this is about the captains getting an
Exactly.
Yeah,
experience.
it's-
So
right.
by me
But-
asking, I don't want to do the swim, it sounds like, and by and large, you do want everybody to complete the entire event, but
Yeah.
it's not about me. This is about the captains.
Yes.
Right.
And if you got to make some concessions to, like,
But-
hey, we could put another captain through this race if if this person didn't have to swim. And so you guys are like, well, yeah, then we're going to make that concession.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about.
But I tell you, I'm selfish. I have so much fun doing it. Like, it's not even like it is so much fun.
No, totally.
Like, you meet somebody new, you meet a team that you're on, and then, like, I know, like, especially last year and even Jacob this year, like Johnny talked to us the whole way.
Yeah.
He was telling dumb dad jokes pretty much the whole way. I mean, it was a good time. And,
Yeah.
You know, and you don't always get a verbal captain.
Yep.
Which is fine. But I remember Terrence saying that too, is you don't think they're getting something out of it, but they are. They are absolutely getting something out of it. And I just remember, we had a nonverbal captain, and we're running along, and he was yelling. He was making
squealing.
Yeah, he was making noise.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, there's more going on than what you think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't get to witness it a lot, but
Yeah.
a lot of times you can look in their eyes and you can see they're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And you're having as much fun just to see how much fun they're dealing with.
One of my first ones doing it was Rose. I just remember her name, Rose. She was nonverbal, but you could see it in her appearance and her presence in her face. And Terrence and I actually did talk about this on one of the podcasts. Was you could tell she enjoyed it. She had a blast, right? But her parents really appreciated and enjoyed the fact that she was able to do that. So there's more to it than even just the captain. There is the parents of that captain that really get a lot out of it too.
And I always explain to people when they say that from the parents is it gives them an opportunity to take a break and disconnect. We had one of our captains who would come from the Detroit area all the time, and his dad, the race would start, and then his dad would go sleep in the car for like 3 or 4 hours because he didn't have to be on.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about my son. I knew my son was safe, and the people that he was out there with were safe. He knew everybody that was there. If something happened, they would be able to get a hold of him. They could take care of him. And he said that was just so he would take a nap.
Oh.
That's great.
Because they knew we had a 2.5-hour ride back to the Metro Detroit area.
Oh, right.
He's like, I just want to take a break. And he goes in, and this gives us that opportunity.
Yeah.
We have parents in bigger races like that. They go to breakfast. Race starts, and they're on their way to the Sundance Grill downtown.
I want breakfast too.
Yeah.
It's got to be part of that.
But we got some big events coming up.
So,
Yeah.
Tim, next Riverbank, can you do a pancake breakfast for us in the morning?
Sure, I'll work on that. We'll find somebody to do that.
Yeah.
If you come on out to Tri Del Sol, one of our captain's moms, Angel Tomac, she makes us breakfast burritos on the Blackstone in the morning.
So it sounds
my
like Mitch is going to help out at
That's
Grand
what I got,
Rapids.
Yeah.
You could help out at Grand Rapids.
I was looking for stuff for meat.
This is.
I don't know if you're picking up on that.
This is. You go help at Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids Tri.
I'll get you a big breakfast from McDonald's, which has pancakes. Done.
That's
you go.
That's what you asked for. Pancake.
Pancake. And that's right around the corner from the race site, too.
There we go. This is like.
This is turned in a weird, the wrong way.
This is not the way he wanted this to go.
Not the way I saw it going.
So you said you had a couple of big events coming up. Why don't you just touch on those real
the
quick?
month of June is when we start with the Deemer 5K on June 8th, and then Grand Rapids Tri. But then we have 1 to 2 races every week through the month of June.
Yeah.
So
June's a big month.
Yeah, it's a huge month for MTT.
Okay.
And there's some 5K sprinkled in, in there. But we have the Grand Fondo. So if you like to ride your bike and want to be an angel for the Fondo, that's a
I
great
know somebody
time.
likes to ride their bike.
100 miles.
Lewis shaking his head.
No, not me.
So,
I'm selling mine.
But yeah, we do have that one coming up.
Have you do the Grand Fondo on your own typically, don't you? Or-
I've done it once. I haven't done it in years.
so MTT.
Let's see. June's busy.
I'm putting.
June's
but-
busy.
putting you on
I try. I'll pick out a couple. I pick
we
out a
didn't
couple
tell you-
events every year.
We didn't tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
I'm
didn't tell
not-
you this was going to happen, Sean. Sorry.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I wanted to ask Lewis a question,
Oh.
Oh.
and you can edit this out maybe.
Uh-oh.
But have you done your run analysis with Terrence to find out what your cadence is? Because I did.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I have not, but I am. We
He
actually
tried to
talked
hurt
about
himself
this.
doing it.
Yeah, I didn't try to hurt myself doing it. Yeah. But no, we are we are going to do something with the podcast with a ton of testing from Dave and the whole team here.
All free.
But what was your cadence?
182.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah, what's
work.
yours?
Oh, well, I know what mine is. It's probably more like 165, 170.
Okay.
But I'm
Yeah.
working on 180. I can do 180.
Did you see that frown when she looked
I
at
know.
you?
She's
Like,
like,
okay.
rookie.
Yeah.
She's like, you amateur.
You can edit that out. I heard it on the podcast a while back. You were talking about cadence. So
No, this
No,
is all staying in.
We don't edit any of this
We are
stuff
not
out.
removing anything.
Perfect.
So
Mitch, what's yours?
who knows?
50?
Yeah. I take big strides.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on the podcast. Really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure having Sean, a longtime friend, and now a friend in Timmy.
Timmy.
Absolutely.
You're going to be Timmy. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
That's how I was introduced. That's how he looked across, said, Timmy.
Yeah, he gave
Alright,
me
okay.
the old, I got the old two fingers when I got here. And he goes, you will be on the podcast. I'm like, okay.
Well, this has been awesome. I'm so glad you did come on. And my team triumph is definitely in our hearts, even
yeah.
though, I haven't done it a ton. I've done it probably a handful of times. I love it. But I haven't done racing either. So, I haven't done any of that in a while. But it is definitely something near and dear to our hearts. Mitch and Sean have done it a ton. And for those listening, I would highly recommend go check out, is it MTT?
MTTWestMichigan.org.
MTTWestMichigan.org and
is.
get involved with it. It's a great
It really
organization.
Is. It is my favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and this is something that you can use as a training run.
Yeah,
I mean, it is a free, it's a donation.
So, yeah, we ask for when our angels sign up, and it's a $25 donation.
Instead of $150 for a marathon or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, so the cost to do the races we have, and we're lucky to have such great partners with all of the race directors that we have, that they donate the race entries for all of our captains and angels. So because of that, I like to tell people all the time, you need a good training run, and it's
Yes.
a race that you want to do in town, but you don't really want to pay for it. I'm like, well, it's a $25 donation, but we're going to put you in the Grand Rapids Marathon.
And it goes to a good cause.
Oh, yeah, and
Yeah.
it goes
Very,
to,
yeah.
I think the important thing is to make sure you're making a difference in the community that you live in,
Yeah.
Yes.
which for a lot of people, they don't really realize that, but you are.
Yeah.
It makes those people's day. And we have kids to adults that do this.
And I want to throw that out there. Sharp really steps up for this.
Yes,
Oh,
they
they
do.
do.
So we haven't talked about them enough, but man,
Yeah.
they really
It's a good point.
They really
They do.
make it happen.
They're our primary sponsor for Tridel Soul coming up in July. Our presenting sponsor, as Terrence likes to call it, I guess I got to start using the right words. I am the race director for the race, so I better use the right words.
okay.
But,
Wow.
yeah.
So promotion.
Promotion. I did take over the race director responsibilities from Terrence.
Promotion, demotion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting and nerve-wracking.
Yeah, it has been. I've had to learn a lot of things since the beginning of the year,
Yeah.
but it's working out. All of
Awesome.
our ducks are in a row. We are looking. We want to get to 250 participants for the race,
Oh, wow.
or more. We haven't had that in a couple years, so we're hoping that we get. I think the group said ideally we'd like to be 300, but we'll work on that and be able to do that as well. So come join us for Tridel Soul,
Yeah, and that's in July.
July 21.
July 21.
That's a Sunday, Lewis, so you can't join us that day.
See, these triathlons.
They're always on Sunday. I
On
think
Sundays.
it's because the roads aren't as busy when you put bikers
Oh,
out
that
there.
makes sense. That makes sense. Safety.
It's safety first.
Yes.
So we have to do another podcast where we can have Sean on. We'll let her talk a little bit more.
Yeah, this is one of those deals where it's such an open format that we really have no direction.
You're right.
We have no content.
don't anyway.
We just want to talk to
It's
people.
very hard for me to sit here.
Yeah.
Well, so here's I can exit. At this point,
No,
you
no,
can
no,
keep
no.
talking to Sean.
Well, let me see who we have. We're going to take a break. We will be right back. It's the podcast.
thank you.
Yeah, let's see. I know Nicole's had people for like 10 minutes.
I told Terrence as long as he,
I appreciate you letting me give you such a hard time.
No, I think I'm good. What's that?
you guys ask questions, I'll answer your questions.
Awesome. That was
Don't
great
make me
having
come
you.
up with content.
Yeah, it was great. It
Because
was great.
Terrence is a content. I know, right? Me, not so much. Here's one of our friendly race directors as well.
Oh.
Were they nice? Oh, very, extremely.
Always.
Hey, we're getting meaner as we go. Email, no on the bike delay. Thank you, though. We won't be able
morning, Sean.
Or riding as an angel, so. Sure. But I'll let you and Kim know. I'll respond to both because Kim said she had like 4 more groups that she wanted to ask.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Not
Okay.
quite.
Thanks, John.
All right, everybody.
I can hear now.
I can hear now.
I can hear.
You mute that, and it's amazing how quiet it gets.
I didn't. No, I took them off.
Well, welcome back. We have John and John joining us.
The two Johns.
Two Johns, no waiting.
I get
don't
it
know
now.
what that means,
I didn't
though.
get it. Well, two Johns, Porter Johns. No waiting.
Oh, two
Toilets. Yeah. Well, in racing speak, that sounds like Porter
You
Johns.
know, in racing speak, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing because have you seen the lines? These
Yeah.
guys, they
Yeah, best part of the day is no wait.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
John on my right, those that are watching on their left, is
It's
a
on
race director.
He's on my right too.
He's on your right also.
Yeah.
On those that are watching, though, it's on their left. Is a race director. John, what tries for health?
Tries for Health. We do Grand Rapids Triathlon, Mai Tai, Grand
Okay.
Fondo, about 15 different events now.
Okay.
Is that
And
your full-time job now?
Yes. Yep. My
And-
partner actually named John as well. We both do this full time.
geez, oh,
Three
criminy.
Johns. Three Johns.
Three Johns, no waiting.
And only a little bit of waiting.
With the
Someone's
other.
waiting on John.
And John on my left, you are, what do you do again?
well, relative to all of this, I own a bicycle bag company. I build custom bags for bicycles for bike packing, and well, anything you need.
He's done awards for us at one of our races, the Dirty Mitten. We gave out
Oh,
bike
the Dirty
packs.
Mitten. I did see that recently. Is that that's not a try.
It's a gravel bike race on Saturday and a gravel tri on Sunday.
Oh,
Largest gravel tri in the country in the national championship this year.
Oh, really? That's not you don't have a run associated with that?
Nope, not just a run.
Okay. Thought I saw something. But what's it called again?
The Dirty Mitten.
The Dirty Mitten. And so how do you two know, and I'll let either one of you chime in and speak, how did you get tied in with PT Sports Pro or Terrence or Dave or any of the other PT Sports Pro pros here?
They saw free food. They didn't.
Oh,
they don't
you
know
just
anything.
saw the pink sign and
Yeah.
free food.
The pink tent drew me in.
You're like, who's Terrence? What's PT Sports Pro?
Like, who cares?
No, we saw the ridiculous truck that Terrence rides around and just followed that.
Yeah, I'm going to try and make my truck look like. No, I'm not.
No, you know, I don't
No,
just
it's-
like that bike
It's
there.
a beautiful truck. Yeah, that bike needs some bags. I've just met Terrence from being at events, races, various events, and I ran into him at the Dirty 30 in Saranac about 5 weeks ago, and we're chatting a little bit. We don't know each other very well, but I didn't know what he did. PT Sports, I don't know what that means. I said, so what's going on? He said, well, I just opened my practice. I got cleared for Medicare this week. I said, Medicare? I said, I just went on Medicare. I said, and I'm getting a new shoulder put in next week. He said, well, I'll be your PT guy. PT Sports. Now I get it. So I called my surgeon's office and said, need a referral to Terrence Rubin at PT Sports, and it's been great. I was 3 days after surgery. I was here for what I thought was going to be a consult. No, they started moving this stuff around.
So he hurt you right away.
Well, it did. So here's the interesting
Fixing
Oh,
you
I said it wrong.
right away.
Fixing, yeah. So I started working on it, and they, under their power, my arm will go anywhere they want to put it. It'll go anywhere it's supposed to.
I was gonna say.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
Yeah, true. I know. But they got me. They started manipulating it, started moving it around, and I couldn't move it at all when I started, of course. But it's doing great. It's doing great. I love coming here. It's a great environment. The people here are very nice. Everybody's really sweet.
So you're one of the first patients, essentially, here.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
So,
the first. but-
Isn't that crazy coming in here though, and the waiting room is in the middle of everything though? Like,
No, so when Terrence was telling me about it, he said it's open concept, and but it's concierge service. And I've had physical therapy at other places, and all the treatment is done out in the open, and you have to suffer the presence of all the other patients. I was going to say inmates.
Again, different thing.
You have to. Everybody's watching you do your stuff, but here it's, as Terrence put it, it's concierge service. You're in a private room, so nobody sees you crying, nobody sees you going.
They might hear you, but that means it's good.
Yeah, yeah. But and I see both Mark and Terrence, and it's been great.
Awesome. And John, how are you involved with Terrence and PT Sports Pro and all this?
and the other John.
Yeah,
And
I got to know Dave through being
Okay.
a PT, and then we kind of just developed a relationship with Terrence originally through Mary Freebed, things like that. Transitioned to here. PT Sports Pro is the official medical provider of all of our events.
Gotcha.
So he kind of oversees all that, so we don't have to worry about it. It's just
Yeah.
they show up, they take care of it. It's great. One
Nice.
less thing to worry about.
Nice. And you got the VIP invite to this then.
Yeah,
For that.
apparently. And then I was told I was on a podcast. Usually that's my other partner's job.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the pretty face.
Well, let's talk about some of those races.
We can blur you out if you really.
Let's.
I'm kidding.
No,
Jeez,
no, no.
like,
I know.
he's always the nice guy.
Well, no, I was taking it somewhere else, but I let's talk about the races a little bit. You said what are the races again?
We just had Waterloo G&G, which is a gravel bike race on the other side of the state. That's about 700 people. This weekend we've got Armed Services Marathon out in Grand Haven.
Yeah.
Next weekend we've got Bear Lake Triathlon up towards Muskegon.
So you took
Wait,
over
you
that-
just took both of those over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we've taken those over from Ron Knoll, good
Is
friend
he
of
still
ours.
is he still involved?
Yep, he's race directing for us this year because we're just busy.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's doing. He's been doing a lot longer than we have.
Yeah. So then, what else? What are your other races?
After Bear Lake, we'll roll right into GR Tri.
So
Largest-
GR Tri is
yep,
another.
That's
Okay.
the largest tri in the state.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh,
Then-
Yeah, because I remember when that was started.
Yeah, it was about 1,000 people from the beginning, and now it just hovers right in that 1,400 to 1,500 people range.
That was my first half iron.
You should come do it
No,
next
no,
time.
no.
Half
No,
distance.
wait.
Yeah, don't say the I word. We'll get a cease and desist.
Oh,
order.
sorry. Half
Half distance.
distance. Sorry.
And then 2 weeks after that, we'll roll into Fondo, Grand Rapids Fondo. We brought
wow.
that back last year. It used to be the MSU Grand Fondo.
Yeah.
They pulled out. It
Okay.
was just kind of left a hole. It's just too good of an event not to have. It's too
Okay.
important. Raises a lot of money for good charities. This year, we're working with Mary Freebed for some of their kids and programs to get people back in, get them active again.
Okay.
And then after that, we've got Grand Haven Tri, Michigan Titanium.
Oh, you got that one as well from Ron.
Yep.
Then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Luton Park Time Trial, Dirty Mitten, Road to Hell. A lot
Holy
of them.
cow.
Yeah, I think we got 15 now.
15.
You almost have to have a
Jeez.
full-time staff at that point.
We hired our first 2 employees this week.
Really?
Yep.
Oh wow. Adding 3 last year essentially.
Yeah, we started with 2 races in 2020, just in time for COVID. and
Oh, wow.
we've grown to 15 since then.
Wait, so you took over my team or Mai Tai, you took over Grand Rapids and all those. Oh,
Yep.
okay.
We shadowed the previous owners for 2019, kind of learned the ropes, and took over right after the 2019 events, and things were going really good. Sign-ups were through the roof, and then, 2020 hit.
Oh, yeah.
The lost
so
year.
that was, well, yeah, you know what? This is a great, I say great, good question. Horrible experience, I'm sure. Can you just kind of walk us through what that looked like when that happened and like what that meant to you? And I mean, I know it's probably a pretty sour story, but I think people would appreciate hearing it. Those of us that race and,
Well, one of the things is being new to it, we didn't really have any expectations. We didn't have set ways of doing things. So I think we were able to pivot faster than a lot of other people. We still tried to embrace it. It was supposed to be the 10-year anniversary for Grand Rapids Tri. It's obviously not going to be a virtual, so we made that Grand Rapids Tri 9.5. We had all custom merch, custom shirts for the virtual aspect of it. We still had Larry Crabb calling people across the finish line virtually. Just anything we could do to still try to make an event out of it, even virtual finish line photos, things like that. And it went pretty well. I mean, it's still not as fun as
being there
everyone
and doing
getting
it,
together,
yeah.
and you kind of miss that. But
Yeah.
It was not fun, but we made the best of it. And I think we did pivot and adapt better than most people out there.
Okay. And not to discuss details, but obviously, how does a race absorb that impact?
We were fortunate in that it was not our full-time jobs at that point.
Okay.
So we just rolled everyone into the next year, rolled all our sponsors into the next year. So it was basically
Okay.
a year of no income.
Okay, well that sucks, but
Yeah.
fortunately at that time it was not your full-time job.
Correct. We had day jobs.
Okay, so that helped. Whereas a lot of races, they literally had to absorb that. I mean, it's wow. So what do you have? Are you tied to? Well, I believe you would be. Do you have My Team Triumph involved with some of yours?
They do the beer tent at the majority of our events, and all
Oh.
the proceeds go to My Team Triumph for
Oh,
that.
awesome.
Every event we have that they race, they enter for free. Angels and captains all race for free, just because we love seeing those kids out there.
Yeah, that is amazing. John, 1 or 2, the first John I spoke to.
I'm older, so maybe I'll be.
So you had mentioned the reason you're in a sling is you don't hold back on your riding.
No.
What is your? Are you doing some of these races? Like, what's your background there?
No, the only thing that these guys do that I'll participate in is I don't do triathlons. I don't swim. I won't swim again. After this shoulder thing, I'm done there.
Yeah.
I don't like running, but I could.
Who doesn't like running?
Well, tell us how you really feel.
So,
you know this is a running podcast, right? You guys sat down in the wrong chair.
Yeah,
the biking one is.
Yeah, you picked like the two least running people you will ever interview on this podcast.
Yeah, it could very well be true.
So that means you both have to run 3 miles tonight for sure.
I would die.
I'll drive 3 miles home.
There we go.
No, I took to cycling, and I've done Gran Fondo.
Cool.
I did their Gran Fondo last year. I'm not cleared to ride my bike this summer, so there isn't any riding. But I spend most of my time on gravel races. I spend time winter ultra racing, extremely long winter races, and that's where I crashed
Really?
last year in Wisconsin.
What race was that?
That was the Tuscobia Winter Ultra.
Okay.
On the Tuscobia Trail in northern Wisconsin.
How far is that?
There are
The
two
race.
distances. There
Okay.
are 80 and 160 mile. And
Man.
it's on a rail trail that's a snowmobile trail in the winter, so it's sort of groomed by snowmobiles, which means it's pretty choppy.
When I see these races like that, there's several of them now, and I don't think there's a race that I am least attracted to.
Is what?
The freezing ones.
Oh, yes.
Where you
Screw that.
freeze
Those
your
are
butt
my
off.
favorite. Those are my absolute
I see
favorite.
these people line up, and I'm
love
like,
cold weather.
there's no way I could do that.
Well,
they don't make gloves warm enough to keep these hands warm. How do you keep your hands warm?
You stay well. First of all, you're generating a lot of heat. riding. And you can put covers on your handlebars, and your hands will stay inside, and you throw a hand warmer in there or a foot warmer or whatever, and it'll stay 40, 50 degrees, even if it's 30 below, inside that little enclosure. And then you're generating heat anyway. You'd be surprised at what we don't wear. When we're
I've
riding.
seen the starting line sometimes.
We don't have a lot of clothes on. I mean, we're not in a tank top and shorts, but I mean, we're wearing layers of wool, but it's not a lot. And if you look at the jackets, all look very thin. We're not wearing down jackets, anything like that. But those are an absolute blast. So maybe we're getting back around to getting on foot. They also have foot divisions of this race, and I may shift gears and learn how to do the foot race.
Wow.
So 80 miles on snow, dragging a sled with all your gear on foot. I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I believe in you. So how long does it take you to do the 80 miler?
That's what I want to know.
Well, the 80 mile on bike, the first year I did it was 13 and a half hours.
Oh
the
my
second year I did it was the second year I finished was 11 and a half hours. This year, after I crashed, I still finished.
Oh.
After I blew up, I landed. The road froze. We had to cross a road, and my bike shot out from under me, and I landed on my shoulder, and I still took another 2 hours off my time. So,
oh wow!
This year I did it in about a little over 9 hours.
So you can basically more than double that for double the distance.
Yeah. So next year, if I go back on foot, I'm going to take another 2 hours. No, I won't.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I'll be impressed.
That would be very impressive.
Oh, everybody will be impressed.
Yeah, I'm amazed by those races because, man,
I've run so many cold weather. I don't know if I could do bike in
cold weather. Cold weather marathon is different than like 100-milers where you're potentially.
But even cold weather marathon, the worst part is lining up. You're freaking freezing lining up, and then you gotta go.
But in an ultra, but here's the thing though, in an ultra, as you know, when you get into those later miles, you're no longer generating as much heat as you do in a marathon where you're running hard the entire time.
It is imperative in that type of race that you have a change of clothes on at that point.
Not just a change of clothes, but part of all the preparation is what are you going to eat?
Yeah.
Now on
100%.
a bicycle, it's a little easier. I've got a virtual smorgasbord. Hanging from my handlebars of nuts. I like to bring extra fatty sausages, custom. I have them made for me, so they've got fatty meat sticks. Because fat is calories, calories is energy, energy is heat, so that helps. I love maple syrup, so I have maple sugar with me.
Shots of maple syrup.
No, sugar. So it's dry. It's just I make it myself in just little chunks. So maple sugar with these extra fatty meat sticks is delicious. So, and that's the other thing. You have to bring food.
You are struggling right now.
It's an excuse to eat like crap. Is what it is.
Well, but when I get home, you have to go back to good eating again.
That's not good.
No,
that's the part that sucks.
But you can eat anything you want when you're burning that many calories and you're blowing through that kind of stuff.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean,
John, do you have any? Are you guys looking down the road? Because obviously, one of the things you, as a business owner and in this arena, you have to be constantly staying on top of like, all right, what's next? We've got these races, and that's great. And we want to make sure that like we're keeping these things like current and active and like super attractive to people. Are you looking down the road and going, well, hey, this ultra thing is really, I mean, it has taken off. Let's face it. Are there any races out there that you're saying, we're talking about maybe doing this without giving away too much? If you got things that you're like, yeah, better be careful what I say. But
so my title at Tries for Health is Chief Instigator.
Oh,
and that's basically what I do.
You and Mitch are like,
that's my job is to find what's next.
It's my job too. But I don't get paid for it.
To look forward, and we in the next 5 years or so, we'll probably have another 10 to 15 events.
Wow.
In different spheres. One of them we're really starting to make a push into is running.
Okay.
I'm not a runner anymore.
Ultras? Are you looking like
potentially?
Okay, it would be nice to have a nice. And I say this with the
Because you're
most,
gonna run another ultra.
Oh, for sure I will.
Are you?
I gotta. Yeah, 100%. If I would be nice to have. I gotta be careful I say this. It would be nice to have another ultra in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys looking in the West Michigan area? Because obviously you're on the east side too.
Yeah,
sounds
we're pretty much lakeshore to lakeshore.
Okay.
But yeah, we're housed primarily here in West Michigan. We're always looking for what's next. We're always putting the athlete first. That's kind of what we think sets us apart. We just sent out a survey last month or the month before to all of our athletes, actually asking them what they wanted to see. Do you want to see running races? Do you want to see triathlons?
Okay.
And then where do you want to see them? Do you want to see them in Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Lansing, etc.?
Okay.
So, yeah, we've got some ideas.
Awesome. That's exciting. That's exciting.
One thing that we started new last year is when you look at the pro races, the Tour de France or the Giro or whatever, there's an award called the Lantern Rouge, and the last place finisher they used to be given a red light back in the day. 100 years ago, they'd have a red light hanging on their bike, and these people they got last place in yesterday's race, and the Lantern Rouge Award is a point of respect. Everybody else raced and finished and blew it all out.
Yeah.
Bam, they were there.
Well,
in
you got your
6
money's worth.
The last place finisher finishes 10 minutes before the cutoff, and that's the badass on the course. That's the person that every single person should be standing there celebrating.
Yeah.
So we came up with this idea. I don't know how if you came up with the idea or I did, or we were just drunk and said stupid things until it turned into a party. Well, last year, Johnny D's Bike Bags, my company, my wife and I, sponsored what we ended up calling the Lantern Rouge Party. And we showed up about 3 hours before the race was scheduled to end and we just giving hot dogs away. And that was so much fun. There's no hot food at these races. And people are going, can I have a hot dog? Yes, you may. You want another one? Yes, I do. And it was so much fun. I understand that it's growing. Is this true? That the party, the finish, the end of the race.
Yep. I agree with that. Like that, there's nothing like that last person struggling.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
I identify.
I
with
agree.
That
I agree. That is the badass person.
It is.
Because you can finish a race fast. Who cares?
Big whoop. Everybody does that.
Yeah.
Or
it's everybody's goal. But to someone to suck it up.
Yeah.
I love people that can suck it up.
Yeah,
especially at Michigan Titanium. That's a 17-hour day for that person. And that's always the knock on an independent full-distance triathlon versus something like Ironman is we don't have 500 people coming back to cheer the last people on. So we actually gave people a 50% off code if they came out for the last hour. But you had to be there on site.
To get that code.
Yeah, so we had the beer tent open till midnight with my team Triumph and Terrence and Tim. John was there with his party, and we had probably 200 to 300 people.
Oh, wow.
Instead of 20 people in our staff cheering them in.
It was so much fun. It's an absolute blast. And when
it is.
And when the gal finished, she had no idea what was happening to her. First of all, I was at the finish line waiting for her. I had we printed and then I sewed up a pennant that had a drawing I made of a lantern, a cartoon sort of a lantern, and with the year on it. And it didn't say last place; it just said Lantern Rouge Award.
That's awesome.
And
I like the DFL award too, though.
Yeah, me too.
That can be hurtful to some people.
It can.
Some people might not like that.
Well, the thing of it is, when you guys talk about this, though, I think about there's several reasons you could be in that position. You could be like, let's take a marathon, for instance. You could normally be, let's say, a 3 hour and 30-hour marathoner, and whatever happens, you just have a blow-up day, a horrible day, and now you're looking at a 6 hour marathon, let's say. Yeah, and you're walking, and you stuck it through. That's impressive. Because no matter what, if you're coming in at that end of time of a race, that is a hard day.
What I think is awesome, it could be somebody's very first race.
Yeah.
And it takes that long.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. And
You
Who
did it.
cares? You freaking did it.
And
Yeah.
I announce various races, bicycle races as well. One of them is Skirts in the Dirt, and I lead this cheering session for the last person to finish of the day. Everybody's still there, and I'm like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, come on around, get it, let's get all, come on over to the finish line. Susie Q is coming in, and she's looking burnt up, but she's as crispy as a piece of toast. But let's bring her in with a lot of love, ladies and gentlemen, because this lady deserves every ounce you can. And everybody comes to the finish line just yelling and celebrating this person's finish.
That's awesome.
It's
I love
so
it.
much fun.
I love it.
And they have no idea what they're doing. I mean, it's like if your neighbor's riding his bike, run out in the middle of the street and go, yeah,
Could you
good job,
imagine?
bring it home, bring it home,
Could
bring
you
it home.
imagine?
Oh, I should do that more often. Just be a complete
It doesn't matter.
jackass.
Yeah, exactly. I have a neighbor. I mean, he's a father.
You didn't think you could, but you did it.
You did it.
I am just riding down the road. Could you leave me alone?
That's exactly right. The person that's who ran to the grocery store to get batteries for his
Yeah.
4-year-old daughter's
Right.
bubble
You
blower.
did it.
Yeah, exactly. I do that all the time.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, how does you mentioned Johnny D's
Bike bags.
bike bags? How do people get in touch with that?
Add a .com to that, and you've got our webpage.
Johnny D's bikebags.com.
We're on Facebook under the same name, Johnny D's Bike Bags. That's a D apostrophe S. We're on Instagram, so there's you can look at pictures, and everything we do is custom. I don't have stock stuff. They go, oh, can I get some of this at the bike store?
Oh, gotcha.
Nope, it's all custom.
Okay.
I don't want to build stock stuff. I don't want to be sending everything to be built in Korea, so I can have 12,000 of them
Yep.
to send around the country. People, you bring your bike to me. We talk about your adventure. I'm bike packing. I'm camping. I'm doing that stuff. I know how to do it.
Really?
So I'll talk to you about the gear you want to bring along. I'll talk about. Are you credit card bike packing? Meaning, are you riding your bike from hotel to hotel, or are you hitting campsites? So how are you going to dress your bike for campsites? How are you going to? Oh, you're just bringing clothes. That's and some snacks because you're going to hotels, and that's legit too. So
Yeah.
all of that stuff, I'll help you build it, and we'll design it. You choose your colors, you choose your size, how many pockets. Do you want? Do you need a sling for your arm? I'll make you.
Can make that too.
Yeah. I just got a call from someone. She said she bought a bag 2 years ago and her son stole it, so she needs another one. I said, yeah, okay.
Well, have the other kids steal one.
Yeah. Don't make sure all your kids steal them.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
keep on
right.
going,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep this
Well,
going.
cool. Thanks a lot, John. How do we get a hold of all the races? Like, what's a good place to find all of those?
Triesforhealth.com is probably the best place. And like I said, if you're, since you guys are runners, if anyone's interested, Armed Services Marathon out in Grand Haven, benefits Folds of Honor.
Yeah.
Still time
That's
to sign up for this
that's-
weekend.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Yep, weather's looking great.
Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for joining us.
This is a pleasure. Thank you.
Even if it was Terrence just grabbing you by the ear
That's
and
Terrence.
saying, get on in there. Appreciate having you guys here.
Thanks, guys.
Well, thank you.
All right, thanks. We got the Agar family
I
coming.
wondered, yeah.
What is the podcast here? I have no idea who I just went on. Who I just went online with.
It's called I Don't Know Running.
Oh, okay.
I Don't Know Running, and you'll find
Well,
us.
I'm an asshole when it comes to listening. You guys are good at this. There are people out there who ask a 20-minute question, and they answered the question in the question. Oh, I hate those. There's so many beginners that don't know how to do what you guys are doing. And you're very good at it. That was very fun. You knew how to move back and forth, give us equal time, that sort of stuff. So it
was great meeting you.
It was good meeting you too.
Yeah, the bag thing, I'm going to look you up.
Well, here, I did bring cards.
Oh, good.
I have some here I can get out with my good hand. Well, there's two. 'Cause I'm not putting my hand back in there.
Thank you.
Where my hand has been.
problem is like you can't just cut it short.
Yeah, if we're in the but Terrence, if he really wanted, he could.
Yeah.
We would just say.
All right, you got these two, and then we'll have Wayne and Tina after.
All right. Do you want to get Jeff and shoot? What is Mom? Becky, Jeff, and John.
Yeah. Where do we want to put Johnny?
Well,
For us?
yeah,
You need a break. You need a break? How you doing?
I do. See you again. Why don't we have
Johnny over there? Is he? What do you want right here?
Oh, it might be easier here. Yeah. Let's move this around here. Are you gonna sit with Johnny?
She may sit with him. Yeah. Let me go there.
Let's try. I guess let's go. I will go with headphones. You guys don't have to necessarily. Hey, Johnny.
Rich, right?
Lewis.
Lewis, I'm sorry.
Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Come on in.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's a treat.
They're at the bottom of the barrel now, John. You got everybody else now.
We've exhausted everybody.
Well, what a setup they got in here, isn't it?
It is. It is nice.
Oh my.
You guys need something to drink?
I just grabbed that.
Okay, all right. How's that beer? I've seen them advertising.
It's
Is it
good. You want one?
No, I'm all right.
I've got. It's non-alcoholic, and I don't drink, so.
Gotcha.
But I do enjoy an IPA. So.
Yeah, that's totally good. Yeah, that's awesome. You want Johnny to put these headphones on?
Is it just the four of us?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. It'll be easier to know when you're talking into the mic.
Okay.
If we have headphones on.
Okay. So Johnny, you got to talk.
So Johnny, can you hear me?
And
Yes, sir.
All right.
how's Johnny sound?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Great.
It is great having you back.
Great having you, and great being in your presence.
But I tell you what, it was a lot easier getting you into position and up to a mic than at my house.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we had a fun time
You need
regardless.
napkins over there? Is that a dirty napkin or clean?
Dirty.
Okay.
You need
Let me,
one?
There's a little bit of a lot of moisture on that one.
Okay.
How you been, Mitch?
I've been good.
Good, good. I saw you at the riverbank.
Mm-hmm.
Did your captain have fun? Or-
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we had Jacob. Do you know Jacob? Or not?
Awesome. I know Jacob very well. Yeah.
Yeah, he was fun.
Yeah, he's really fun, isn't
Who's
he?
that?
Jacob?
Doesn't he bring tunes with him all the time?
He did not know
Okay.
tunes. But
Okay.
Who?
Jacob is who we had for a captain for
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got you. How'd it go?
good.
Yeah.
Good. He was really monotone kid. Like
Yeah.
He didn't,
Oh, okay.
But he's like at one point he's like really having a good time.
Oh, that's good. Right?
Oh, good, good.
So he was and he was funny. Like
Yeah.
he was a funny kid.
Good.
Boy, that looks crooked, but it's not.
It's my head.
By the weather was great for running too.
It was. I was a little worried that we were gonna get rain when we first
Yeah.
started off.
Yeah.
Yep.
It rained for like 30 seconds. on it, so.
For what one?
Yeah.
For Riverbank.
Riverbank. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
It kind of missed it for just a minute there. And Jacob said something like, "I don't want to get wet."
And Jeff, if you can get right up close.
Okay.
I've
Oh,
got
okay.
everything
Is that
really
better or not?
down
Okay.
because of all the background noise.
Yeah, right.
Well, hey, everybody, welcome back. We are back, and we have Jeff and Johnny Agard joining us back on the podcast. It was such a treat, and I think that one was super received really, really well. I know I enjoyed it. I appreciated it. Thank you guys so much for coming.
You're welcome.
Let's get an update.
Okay.
Anybody
training going?
How's training going?
It's going It's going much better now with PT Sports Pro behind us. It's,
Yeah.
we're basically gonna live here until Kona. So it's fantastic. Terrence is really treating us very well, and Dad's got some strength training he's doing here, and I'm gonna do some work on the Alter G. Terrence is already bugging me about that, so I'm excited about it.
Did I see it correctly? You got out of the chair at Riverbank, right?
I did, yes, sir, and it was really fun because all my angels, they really work really hard, and so I wanted to show them how much I appreciate them and the work that they put in, and Dad too, and so to not only tell a person thank you, but to show them, to put my best foot forward. Pardon my pun. But,
Yeah.
It's really fun. So
I did see some footage of that. That was really cool.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, our daughter's big in social media, and so she made a video of the race. Not a long one of us, but mainly of Johnny walking. And within a day, it had been viewed 1.2 million times.
Oh, my goodness.
So she has quite a bit. She is a social media influencer. She has a
From
lot of
Riverbank?
people. Yeah, just
Was
from that.
she,
Yeah.
was she there or not?
Yeah, she was there. Yeah.
Oh,
she
okay.
came in.
I didn't
she
see
came
her.
in for So she was kind of filming at the end. And
Oh, how cool.
Her reach is pretty substantial.
Oh, Yeah.
yes, I
compared to
noticed.
what's normal. So
Yeah.
But that was cool. But it was Johnny did great. He's been big difference. He's last few weeks he goes to the Conductive Learning Center once in a while to get therapy. And so when he goes there, you can tell he's a lot more limber, a lot stronger. Just like anything, if you went and worked out 6 hours a day and did all week long, you'd make big improvements. And that's what happened with that's how Johnny's able to walk through the Conductive Learning Center, which is like the premier center for kids with disabilities like Johnny in North America, and it happens big
I
in
have
Rapids.
3 palsies.
Yeah. So for kids with muscle disorders, it's like the premier clinic in the country. And
Okay.
it happens to be right in our backyard. So
Wow.
it's really cool, yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
So how is your training going?
So it's going pretty well. I remember when we found out about Kona, it was 16 months to go, and now it's less than 6. So
Has it been, wait. Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like that. And I'm
Wow.
sitting there thinking, what have I done for 10 months? But, it's the training's going well. I haven't had any injuries, knock on wood, but things seem to be going pretty well. But it's just brutal. The other night I was my bike trainer working out, and I was watching the 2023 race in Kona. That was the women only, but you had the lady who won it, Lucy Charles Barkley. So there's one hill you kind of go out and come back the first 10 miles, and then you turn right up this hill called Palani.
Yeah.
The street's Palani, and she's going 14 miles an hour up that hill, and then sometimes got down to 11, and she is just unbelievable. She won the race, right? So. She's
Oh, my
barely going
goodness.
11 up this hill, and I'm thinking,
You're on your
I'm
trainer.
gonna be glad that if I don't have to walk up the hill, I'll be happy.
Oh,
So,
wow.
but it's going to be that brutal. But
I mean, your gearing on that bike, it is a specific bike for this,
yeah,
is probably different.
yeah.
You have a better grinding gear, I would imagine, a low gear.
Yeah, we've actually we just got a bike fit done by a guy in St. Louis who's one of the premier bike fitters in the country, and so he's suggested another setup of our gears to try to give me, and it's almost like it's like almost having 2 sets in the back. Which
really?
I'm not really familiar with it, so we got to check into how that works. But it gives you the lighter gears you really need for hill work when it's really, really steep. But then you don't lose the big gears when you really need it to really get some speed going. So it's a unique thing, but I got to figure out more what it's all about, and so we're gonna try to work with Zip and Shram about how do we get something like that to put on the bike. But,
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty wild, but we're just training like crazy. A lot of strength training. The average person can spin their way up a hill, and I have to just brute force my way up a hill and then not destroy my legs. So it's really helped at Terrence's facility here to really get after the strength training, side of things. So.
Yeah. Johnny, I got to ask, one of the biggest hurdles, if I remember right, for you, or one of the big hurdles, if I remember right, for you, was the ice cream. Have you been staying away from that and keeping the weight down?
And chocolate.
Oh yeah, I've been staying away from that, and it's been really, really beneficial for me because I get to experience all the aspects of being an athlete. The losing weight, the keeping in shape, and the making myself stronger and stuff, and it's been a wonderful thing for me to have a new appreciation for what athletes go through to succeed in something like this. So.
Have you been on the bike together?
We have, yep. Actually, a few weeks ago was our first time out. It was 70 degrees, beautiful, and Dad said, "Okay, Johnny, had to get out the trainer and we'll get ready to go together. So it
Yeah,
was
'cause
awesome.
The weather's starting to really be
It
beautiful.
is.
It's time to
Yes,
get
sir.
out on that bike.
Yes, sir. And it was such a wonderful thing. You know, anytime I get to go out with Dad, it's really cool because you know you wouldn't anticipate somebody like me being able to experience a training ride or a ride alone. So it was an awesome thing, and I love every part of it. So.
Yeah, and we're training for part of our training leading up to Kona is to do the Ironman 70.3 in Louisville. So
Oh.
it's coming up end of August. It's
Wait, it's still in August?
Yeah, yeah.
Wait a minute.
But they only do the half.
Oh, just the half,
just
though.
The half.
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't do that. So it's going to be very hot, very hilly. So it'll be a good replication of what we're going to look forward to at Kona.
Okay.
And then we have had some fantastic sponsors that stepped up to things too. So I don't know if you've ever seen those master spas that Michael Phelps endorses. So the Master Spa company has donated one of those master spas to us.
Oh, wow.
Now getting it into our yard and in the ground is there's some effort going into
Some
it.
challenges.
So, yeah, so some local contractors are working to get that done. But yeah, that'll be a huge game changer because right now, you know, I get up at 4:30 and go to the Y at 5 and try to get my swim in. Where if I have a master spa in the backyard,
You
I
can
just hop in
swim
and
right
swim
there.
whenever, yeah.
It's not your
So,
normal spa. This
right.
is a swimmer.
This is
spa.
one of those swimmer ones, yeah. So the water comes against
Yes.
you. So we went to the showroom. They walked us through the different models.
Did
they
you get
have.
to try one?
I tried one, yeah.
Is
And
that a weird feeling? I
it-
have never
well,
talked to anybody.
the
I would
most-
love to hear
yeah,
about this.
The most amazing part of it is that if you are doing anything wrong, it highlights it quickly. So if your stroke is
Oh.
off, then the water starts pushing you one way and you got to correct. So the nice thing different than a pool is it forces you to really swim well, and you find out quickly if you're not swimming well. So that's
Wow.
pretty astounding. And the water, it comes at you at a good pace.
And
but
you
it
can
kinda comes-
adjust that.
and you can adjust it, yeah, different speeds. And I tried the fastest speed, and I could do it for about a minute. So, I mean, it cranks the water at you. But at normal speed, you can just sit there and, you know, and in a triathlon, you're not turning, right? So it's nice from that standpoint. You're just consistently swimming. And so I think that's going to be a big game changer to us, too, because just the amount of time between working and working out, you know, every time you get to drive somewhere, it gets tough. And now, you know,
Yeah.
I do work out the YMCA, the whole Grand Rapids YMCA network
Yep.
is fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you go anywhere in the country, you can go to a Y and work out as part of your membership. So the Y is awesome. And we'll continue to work out there, but it's the challenge of just the time component. And sometimes you can't get there when
Yeah.
they have the lap swimming, and having it in the backyard will be awesome. But the other thing is for Johnny, he'll be able to hang on to there's a bar that he can hang on to, and the water will go against him, so he can be, you know, parallel with the water and basically swimming, kicking his legs. And
No
you know,
way.
we can heat the water
Yeah,
up
working
quickly.
on my core and stuff.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah.
So it'll be great for both of us for sure. So
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool. Yeah,
awesome.
pretty wild, but the Master Spas has been unbelievable.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, I know I can speak from experience, and that is why I do not do triathlons anymore, is because the time commitment to be able to do the biking and
Yeah.
the swimming,
Yeah.
it's exponentially harder than running. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's one of the nice things about running is you can throw on shoes and shorts and go
Yeah, right.
from your doorstep.
Yeah.
But a lot of times, even with the biking, it's harder to do that because you want to have roads that work. You want to have roads that are safe. You're going a lot further, so you want to have routes that are actually kind of more planned out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a really
It is tough.
difficult.
Yeah, we've migrated more towards the Fred Meyer White Pine Trail. So
Yep.
thanks to Fred Meyer and his forethought to put this massive trail system in place. It goes so far north now from Rockford, and it goes south into Grand Rapids. So pretty much, and it's ideal if you have someone with you because they can get out and look at the streets and see if the road's
So
clear.
you'll do like a group ride.
Yeah, so with
Oh.
a couple people going, you can just keep on going. You obviously stop if a car's coming.
Yeah.
But it's awesome on the White Pine Trail. You don't have to worry about traffic. You know, you may see an animal once in a while, but that's about it. And you just don't have cars veering off the road. So many
Yeah.
times I'll see a car veer off. I think, well, I'm glad I wasn't right there.
I know.
It's just the craziest thing, and people are.
I think the same
not paying
thing.
Attention. So yeah, White Pine Trail is awesome. I shouldn't have told anybody though, because now it's going to get crowded.
It's gonna get
yeah,
packed.
but it is fantastic, the White Pine Trail. for sure.
Will you start open water swims then soon?
Yeah, pretty soon to that too. We typically swim at Silver Lake, which is in Rockford. So there's an area where we can launch off there. There's several people that go out certain nights and swim. The nice thing is you can almost swim the whole perimeter of that lake. And if you get tired, just stand up. I mean, it's sandy. There's only one area that's a little weedy, and we swam in Boswick Lake and Lake Bella Vista, and Lake Bella Vista is a little bit weedy, not quite as attractive from that.
I'm not a fan of weeds.
No,
when I was
don't
training
like
open
weed,
water,
yeah.
I hated that feeling.
The only good thing about weeds was when I got to Maryland, I wasn't quite as freaked out when I'm grabbing handfuls of jellyfish. So I'm kind of used to, I was used to weeds, but not used to being stung by the weeds.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but I used to be a pool person, 100%. I hated it, hated anything about a lake.
Yeah.
And now I'm swimming with, sharks and manta rays and whatever's in the water below that I can't see.
But then you can do that together. If you do open water, you can do that
right,
together.
Yeah, then I can pull them,
Will you have other people that come out and swim with you too?
We do. Yeah, we do that. And then the adaptive elements, right, buddy?
Yeah.
Yep. So Adaptive Elements is our boat company that sponsors us.
Advanced Elements.
What's that? Oh, Advanced Elements. Yeah. Advanced Elements. They give us our boats, and they're getting us a new one right now. They're also giving us 2 stand-up boards, so that people can go along with us, and just to keep Johnny safe.
Well, that's what I was just gonna say. That aspect is different, right? There is another safety factor to take into account when you're doing an open water swim by yourself versus with Johnny. You have to take into account.
Yeah. So someone paddleboarding next to us is great. That I don't have to constantly be looking back and hope that he's all right.
Yeah.
So it's really
I don't have to constantly be waving my arms like, hey, I'm over here,
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm drowning.
Or that.
Yeah. It's been a crazy effort though to get this whole thing put together. My wife's led the charge on all the fundraising and in-kind activity too from those companies, because the whole trip will be about $90,000. Which
how is the fundraising going for that?
So it's going well. Yeah, we're very close on things. So. But we've had great sponsors. Meyer is always a great local sponsor for everybody and has helped us. Amway, a huge sponsor for us. And then Hayworth, the company, and the Hayworth.
Hayworth?
You know them.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with them. So
I didn't know that they were sponsoring.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Yeah, they probably don't want to know. But no, it's more of the family helping.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So they've been unbelievable.
They're good
so
people.
So the Hayworths, the Hayworths are amazing too, because they're not out there, and a lot of these companies they don't sit there and tout what they do all the time.
No, they don't.
But the Hayworths have been huge benefactors of the Equest Center in Rockford that has therapy horseback riding for kids with all kinds of disabilities. Johnny's been riding there since he was 4. So they do an amazing job, and I don't want to point it out because they're not doing it for the publicity, but they deserve some credit for the amazing work that they've done. They just don't get credit for sometimes in the community for all the work that they do to do stuff behind the scenes, and the Amway and Meyer are the same way. They do a lot of things that are visible, but they do so many things you have no idea the millions of dollars.
There's a quote. There's a quote I've heard, and I'll mess it up, but what are you doing when people aren't looking?
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what matters.
Yeah, and that's a couple of examles of that.
Those 3 companies are just phenomenal at it. So really, they deserve some credit. But.
Yeah, and I think that quote describes Terrence too, because he doesn't like a lot of the credit for all the stuff that he does, and he just said to me earlier, he said, Johnny, I'm happy to have you here because I built this for you, and so it's not about him. It's about helping others and have somebody that knows our equipment, knows me as a person with cerebral palsy. It's really, really cool to have him on our team, and really, really cool to have a place like this where we can dedicate ourselves to getting better and to have somebody as knowledgeable as he is about the certain things that we specifically need.
That with a facility like this is fantastic. But if you look at the legacy of things, so Terrence and a couple of guys started the whole My Team Triumph thing many years ago, right? Yeah. And just to basically not it's a selfish sport, right? So they're trying to find some way to give back, and that Johnny did one of the first races one of the first triathlons they ever did. He never would have had an inkling to be in triathlon. No. And if you look at the Riverbank run that just happened over the last weekend, 20 captains, 20 kids that never would have been involved in endurance sports or out there having the time of their lives. And then, I don't know, 60 or 70, maybe 80
Yeah,
captains.
we just talked about it. I think
Just
it was
an incredible amount of captains.
like 21 and 60 or 60, something like that.
Did you see
record.
But all those people doing things that they never would have done that kind of thing before. And
Yeah.
it's inspiring. And we hear from so many people doing these races how inspired they are. And Johnny will sit there and tell them, but he's inspired by them because him watching all these people doing races got him to think one day, hey, I want to walk a mile in a race.
Yeah.
And you think about everything that's happened that led out from, like the butterfly effect is from what Terrence and a couple of guys started doing. I mean, it created a whole life. Johnny has a life as a public speaker. We're doing triathlons. We're going to do the toughest one in the world. And that kind of stuff never, ever would have happened if those guys didn't get together and say, let's start something like My Team Triumph. And it's all over the country now.
Yeah.
I agree. And it doesn't end at the captains. I think there's angels that would never do this stuff if it wasn't for this.
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
true.
expand it.
Yeah.
Like people getting outside of themselves and doing something.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I totally agree with you because most normal people aren't out doing long races, right?
Yeah.
It's the crazies that have been doing it.
And then
but then you get motivated and you get around the endurance community, which you guys know, the endurance community is so positive.
Yeah.
It kind of pulls you in and you think, wow, these people aren't nuts. They're just really,
They're
really
normal.
They're
Well, if I
really
remember
excited
right,
about everything. And,
you never would have done a marathon.
Oh, no, I never would have done a 5K.
5K.
So
if it
yeah,
wasn't
15
for
years ago,
Johnny, it's your fault.
Johnny's fault.
Yeah, but I really enjoy it, and that when you can do something with somebody, it's really cool. But when you can do it with your family, it means a lot more. So.
But you're right. I wonder how many people have watched, to My Team Triumph race and said, "Well, I bet I could do that," because that was us. I said, "Well, I wonder how hard a 5K would be." Would have helped if I hadn't started training on Tuesday for the Friday 5K, but it was horrible.
That's fine. That's
yeah,
normal.
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Yeah, pretty normal to do. And it was really hilly and hot that night. And first, I had to look up how many miles were in a 5K. I'm like, oh my God, 3 miles. That's crazy. But I never would have even dreamed of doing it because I'd never ran more than 2 miles. And that's because I had to.
And now, you're doing
It
Kona.
was base to base before, right? That was it?
Yeah. Just running, on the outside, on the outfield, you run pole to pole. That's what
That's
a few
it.
sprints. That's it. For baseball, there's not a lot of running. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now look where you are.
I
And
know,
now,
it's just crazy,
and that was how long ago?
That was about 15 years ago.
15 years ago. And
So you got to be careful what kids suck into, but you got to have something to motivate you. So like with me, it's obviously Johnny, and a lot of people are motivated by him. But you got to have something to motivate you to get up at 5 o'clock or earlier and go do those workouts and do the long runs and the long rides and stuff. But and it could be Johnny, it could be something else. Your health, you want to be around for your grandkids or whatever. But if you find the motivation, the why, right, then that gets you through. Because some days you love to work, I feel good. Some days, and I was listening to a coach one day talk about this, like everything, all training's in thirds. Third of the time you feel great, don't worry, you're going to get out and do it. A third of the time you feel okay, so not a big deal. It's that third of the time when you feel like crap and you just don't want to do it. And if you can get out and give it your best, it doesn't have to be a good workout, but if you give it your best, that's where you make big strides. You don't make huge strides so when you feel great. It's when you feel crappy, right? And having some motivation to get through the crappy days is what you got to have. And I have Johnny, but other people have other ways to get motivated. So.
yeah. Johnny, what do you have for that? For getting out on those crappy days.
It means so much to not do it yourself. You have to have people around you. I have Dad. I have My Team Triumph. There's so many people that if you just look around you, you have so many people that are pushing themselves beyond their limits, and they're saying, I can get up and do this, and really that forces you to say, if they're doing that, then what can't I do? And so, endurance sports I wanted to do it before, but now I've been a part of the community, and now I understand, what kind of benefits this is, and so it's really a need. It's not a want anymore.
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful, and so it's those people that don't have it on their easy days and they still go out there. Those are the people that I'm motivated by, and those are the people that I want to help in return because they've given a lot to me. So.
Well, I'm sure you are. I'm positive you do. As some of the stories that you talked about last time, even the gal from like Japan or something like that.
Yeah, we've heard from all over the place.
Yeah.
But, people that have said that Johnny will have saved their life by motivating them to do stuff. But we hear from people everywhere. They have all kinds of issues, and it's you need something to motivate you.
All kinds of things to overcome.
Yeah. And that's just a piece of it that then does spark something to motivate somebody to get out there, change a lifestyle, do something. And this is just, I think it is, you look back 15 years and it's amazing. The whole butterfly effect, like what you were saying, one butterfly effect that started another butterfly effect that started another. I mean, it is quite amazing. I think it's just a really good story. And man, to think of where you started looking at your first 5K to doing Kona. The second time.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Well, and you think back to, I mean, a lot of, there's so many people that have helped along the way and made critical moves at certain times. So when Johnny decided to walk his 5K, it was in our church 5K at St. Patrick's out in Parnell, small little church. And the priest contacted Wood TV and said, hey, you need to send someone out because this is going to be a cool story. So Casey Jones, who now is one of the lead guys on the news there, he came out. He was doing sports at the time, and he said, like, I'm swamped. We got so much going on. He goes, I'll be like 5 minutes. I got to get some quick video, and I got to get out of here. And the priest says, you won't want to leave. And sure enough, once Johnny got this thing going, there were two guys from Wood TV. They did not want to leave. They were running up and down the road with their suits on. I mean, it was 90 degrees out, sweating their butts off. And but it was such a great story. And so because they did that, and it got on the airwaves, and ESPN saw it, and it just snowballed from there. But you think a couple key things, like the priest deciding this is a big story,
right?
And I'm going to make a call and get them out. But it's unique things like that. Terrence, they decided to start up this group that really didn't have anything like it in this area.
Yeah.
And just all these steps along the way are pretty extraordinary. But so you kind of hope that there's something good coming at the end, and hopefully when we get to Hawaii, then we can look back and reflect on it all.
Well, and you look at Hawaii and you say, well, that's one of the major hurdles or stepping stones in it. But man, I don't think you're going to see this fully until you're in heaven, literally, and you see
which
the things that you can't see.
I think whether the Hawaii race coming up, but hopefully not.
But when you think about it, there are so many things that you're never going to know about that you have literally touched.
Yeah, people you don't even know, right?
Don't even know, but you're going to find out someday. Man, the number of people you guys have touched through the book, which, who knows who you hear from there.
Oh, yeah.
Stories like on ESPN or just watching Kona. And there's a little blurb that, the Agars here, things like that you go, you're not going to find out until we're past.
Oh, yeah.
And we have,
Well, it's interesting. Sorry, I one quick story. So we were in Kona in 2016. We didn't make it to the race, but my wife was out to dinner with the guys, and I was resting. But a lady came up to her, and she said, is your husband the one that was out there practicing pulling your son? She said, yeah. And this lady was crying, and she said, you know what? I'm working a second job right now because I feel like I need to be getting stuff for my kids, and I'm not spending any time with them. She said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job, and I'm going to spend time with my kids, and that's what I'm going to focus on. So just those kinds of things right there, that changes their lives, right? Now, does the kid not get the new iPad? Probably not, but they spend time with their mother when they have a chance to.
Way more valuable.
Yeah, so in the grand scheme of things, much more important.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like you were saying this, we just do it because we love to do it, but in reality, when you can do something you love and help others at the same time in maybe ways that you may not even know, it's really, really cool. And I just would challenge, anybody having a hard time with something, if you're having a hard time with it, just get out and do it, because you don't know how you're gonna inspire others to get up and do the the same thing. So.
Yeah, and you've definitely done that.
And
There's no
you were gonna
doubt.
say something a minute ago, Nick.
Well, it's funny. I'm at work today, and people, asking, I'm like, you know what I'm doing tonight? We're gonna go to this PT Sports, and I'm hoping that the Agar family is gonna be there.
Yeah.
And I talk about, and I'm like, I'm such a jerk. I'm like, hey, look at this video. Look at this video with Johnny. look at Johnny walking. Like,
were you making him cry at work?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
nice.
I was like,
That's the whole goal. make
because
him cry.
it's so
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, thank you.
I watch that stuff, and I'm like, hey, you guys, you got to watch this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And I am impressed. Like, I had such a good time at Grand Rapids. And here's the thing. I was like, selfishly, I wanted to be on the Agar team for
But you don't run slow enough. I saw you running. You had to scale it back. So
Well, that's no. I could have done it.
Okay.
I would have done it
Next year.
But for Riverbank, and I saw that I was on a different team for my team.
Oh,
for
yeah,
Riverbank,
yeah.
and I'm kind of like, I really wanted to be on the Agar team. But then I'm like,
Put
this
your
is
name
not.
in early. So with Terrence.
Well, I know I have an in, but
Yeah.
but I was like, this is an opportunity. Like,
Yeah,
I get to run with somebody else. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'll see the Agars before the race. I'll be able to talk to Johnny. I'll be able to talk to Jeff. It'll be fine.
Oh, good.
Like
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, right.
Like we're still part of the same thing.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I do, I'm selfish. Like, I still want to run with Johnny because it's fun. But
It is, yeah. He's well. After a while, his puns get a little bit.
I get old after a while.
You may be able to go toe to toe with him.
A new dad joke book.
Yeah, we got to get him some new jokes.
But it was really cool to see all the captains and everybody, and just being able to enjoy it, and all the angels giving us their arms and legs to be able to participate in something. And so thank you for doing that, Mitch, because it's really, really impactful for a lot of people, and it changed my life because, four of my neighbors, four of my buddies wanted to be on the team with me, and pretty soon I was doing a race with that. So I know you changed Captain Jacob's life for sure. So
Jacob was a lot of fun.
yeah, he
really
really
was.
was.
I wanted to run with Johnny, but that's okay.
Another captain needed you.
Right.
That's right.
And that's the thing is, I want people to sign up to be more people to sign up to be angels, because like they were talking earlier, there's 28 chairs. That they
Yeah.
can fill.
Oh, okay.
And
So-
the hang up is more angels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can fill chairs. It's just you have to. We need more runners. We need more angels.
Actually, it's pretty cool. At PT Sports Brothers, we actually have an office now.
Yeah.
My team Triumph never
Yeah.
had an office.
Yep.
So now we have an office. Yeah.
Well, you guys have a big race coming up. What is a big? Where are you at in training? I mean, we've talked about like how you're feeling, but what do you have coming up? You're probably getting into the meat of the toughest part of it.
Yes.
Any hurdles coming up or anything like that?
Yes, sir, Lewis. So we're doing the Ironman Louisville 70.3
Yep.
in August.
Yep.
And then we'll do some smaller ones along the way. We'll do
Okay.
like the Tri Del Sol that my team Triumph puts on. We'll do that race.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the Grand Rapids Tri, but yeah, it's going to be just now we're starting to crank out longer distances and.
How much training are you running with a chair with Johnny in it? Like, because it's different.
So it is. You don't get to use your arms much.
Right.
I'm so used to it now, though it doesn't affect me as much. But he has a person who lives in New York that wants to do the New York Marathon with him, and so we had to borrow a chair from my team Triumph group nearby, because I said you've got to be pushing something without using your arms. So because it's tougher on me. It's tougher on my arms sometimes than it is on
Really?
my legs. Yeah. But I've gotten so used to it now. So at the Riverbank, it was okay. But
So you got another friend you're gonna do a New York Marathon?
so
then?
the week after we come back from Kona,
Oh.
so if we make it in Kona, sorry, people keep telling me say when you make it, but weird things have happened and I can't predict.
Yeah.
Well, not with that attitude, is what I like to say.
Well, I would never have predicted someone slamming into me at one
Right.
race in the back.
Yeah.
But weird things happen. But so assuming we make it through, then CBS would like us to come to New York to be on the CBS Morning Show to talk about the experience, and then we'd stay a couple days, and the New York Marathon's that weekend.
Oh my goodness!
So so there's a person from New York that's connected with CBS that is we're trying to get an invite into the New York Marathon, because that would be really cool.
Had to do our team.
Do you ever come into Grand Rapids to do any of your training runs, or you try to stay in Rockford area?
So no, I actually we belong to Run GR, so they work out of East Grand Rapids. So most of the time you meet at the track in East Grand Rapids there, and then run throughout. So kind of change of scenery. Running on Reed's Lake is really nice. But like tonight, I did my run, and there's 9 Mile. They put a nice trail in now, and along 9 Mile through Rockford.
Okay.
So then from our house, I can get up to the trail and then head on, and into Canonsburg. Our Cannon Township has trails that go all the way down to Canonsburg, the city or town.
Yeah.
And so it's really the network of trails is really helpful, because you just getting on the street is just brutal. But
Because I want to throw myself in there.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing training runs and you're running with Johnny, I'd be more than happy to show up.
Oh, that would be great. Okay.
That'd be awesome. We love
to hang out.
Yeah.
We love training buddies. So
So I'll let you push the whole way.
Don't want to take that training away from you.
I think you probably want to get some experience. So any hill, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, I'm good with that.
But it's great to have people with you, because it goes so much faster. For sure. When you're by yourself, Johnny's sick of my jokes. I'm sick of his puns.
Does he sell the same dad jokes after, like for a while?
He comes up with new ones, but they're so bad.
That's a dad joke.
His puns are unbelievable. I mean, he really thinks them through. So he's got some. They're such groaners that they're funny. But he's got a sharp mind, and our older daughter's very similar. Where quick-witted and snappy, and so a little more pointed and biting on things. And then our youngest daughter, Grace, she's equally quick, but much not
nicer.
Not quite as hard. 'Cause our older daughter's
So they all
dealing with
come
the NFL, so she's got to be tough.
They all come by it honestly, is what it.
Exactly. Yeah, they get it from my wife. I don't know where the sarcasm, everything. I don't know where these kids get it.
I've watched some of Annie's stuff, so I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, she's got a new podcast she's starting with for Amazon. It's called the Offensive Line, which is obviously play on the NFL.
Oh, wow.
But most of her lines are offensive to somebody.
Oh, that is
team.
awesome.
Yeah. It is so funny, because teams will ask about, people will get annoyed if their team gets brutalized. But if she doesn't rip on him, she'll say, hey, you didn't talk about our team this week.
Oh, geez. So, you can't please everyone.
So Johnny's a crazy sports fan, too. Lions fan, so he's going drinking the blue Kool-Aid again.
Yeah.
Hey, they're going to do it this year.
Oh, they are, and it'll be really cool. We get a corner trip and a Super Bowl.
Hey, Johnny, they're going to beat Green Bay both games this year. Let's call it.
I'm calling it now. So, but it'll be really cool. I'm excited about what we have coming around the corner in Michigan here with Kona and everything. So
it was cool how we found out about Kona. I don't know if you've seen the CBS Morning piece with Peyton Manning announcing we're going. And they kind of hinted at when they said, the Ironman in Hawaii is the Super Bowl of triathlon, and they had us so duped. And we knew they weren't going to invite us. The CBS people said, we've done everything we can to get an invite. We just can't get one right now. And we thought, well, whatever. We'll just do this Father's Day special and do whatever, right? So, and all of a sudden they surprised us with Peyton Manning coming on the screen and inviting us to.
I took a chance when we did the podcast, and I pieced that in there.
Oh,
I have not been blocked yet. They have not taken it down yet. We're pretty small.
Yeah.
But
I think that if you use a snippet too, then it might encourage people to go see the whole thing.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, it's one thing if you use the whole.
No, I used
a snippet of it. Yeah.
A snippet of it.
I think it encouraged you to go and see it. Right.
Yeah.
So I think you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without our approval, but you're doing the right thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, you have obviously you mentioned it's a lot. How can people come and support this effort?
So you can find out more about us by going to teamagar.com. We have a lot of things coming down the pike that are there, and you can also support us financially if you feel so inclined.
Yeah.
but it's
There's a link to a GoFundMe page.
there's a
on
link to
Okay.
a GoFundMe page. Yeah. So.
And is your book on there as well?
Yep,
I'm assuming.
Johnny's
Yes,
book
sir.
is there.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. It's our one stop shop, and we got merchandise. It was
Oh, really?
It was
Johnny
a
calls
birthday
it
gift for me.
Johnny calls it A gear.
A gear, love it.
But it's all.
And they can hire- they can
Johnny
hire-
and Becky designed it all, so it's really
And they can hire you.
Johnny, yes, he
For
does
speaking?
motivational speaking. He's
Yep,
he's
yep.
spoken to companies as large as 7,000 or 8,000 people,
Yeah.
in
Wow.
like in a huge room, and he's a natural. At his age, I would have got up and wet my pants, but
He likes to talk.
But yeah, but now we do it together as a family because the three of us, I think it goes very well. But you have the audience members want to hear things from the father's perspective, the
Yeah.
mother's perspective, and get motivated by Johnny. So
It
it's
does-
really been quite a beneficial thing for the three of us.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's 20 people or 4,000 people. It's all the same for me because we're talking about the ripple effect.
Right.
too,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, he's in as small as 20 people in a classroom at a local elementary school, up to the 7,000 or 8,000, and
Yeah.
he did the entire Northview High School.
Yeah.
So that was huge, and he's probably done 25 speeches now all
Yeah.
across the country. Yeah, it's been
That's
cool. He's
awesome.
really doing great.
So it's teamagar.com.
.com. Yes.
And you
That's
can
the
help
easy-
support.
AGAR, right?
What's that?
AGAR.
Yeah.
AGAR. Yes, sir.
You got it.
Cool. Awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys
Thank you for
so
having
much.
us on, by the way. We
I
really
appreciate it.
appreciate
You're always welcome. If there are open mics, you guys are welcome.
We are going to we'll do an update. At
We do
some
wanna do an
point.
update.
And I think instead of making you come to Lewis's basement, I think that we
could come to you
we'll
guys.
come to you
Yeah.
guys
Or
next
this,
time.
this is pretty good right here.
Or this.
This works for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We may
Or
be here-
this.
we may be here working out anyway. but-
That's
Right.
true. We'll get you when you're fresh off one of the treadmills or the bikes. And
This is
So he's out of
pretty easy.
he's out of breath a little bit.
yeah, right.
It'll be a realistic interview.
Yes.
Post-training interview.
There you go.
Here we go.
Well, we wish you guys all the best.
Thank you very much.
God
And
bless you,
we'll
Lord.
be tracking you guys.
God bless you, Lord. God bless you. Yeah.
Yeah, your support is really appreciated.
We'd love
God
having you
bless
guys.
you too, Mitch. Take care.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
All
Jeff.
right. Thank you. Johnny, someone's here to see you, bud.
Hi, good to see you.
Tom.
Good to see you, Tom.
Johnny.
Hey, Laura.
Hi,
You.
guys. Are you done, honey?
We're all
Yes.
done, yes.
You just finished up?
How have you been, Tom?
I've been well. They've heard enough of our
Good,
crap.
I didn't even know you guys were going to be here.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's good to
We're flitting around at
Are ya?
different events, and I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You guys are all dressed up very nice.
No problem.
I have it on my desk.
No problem. Absolutely happy to do it. Happy to do it. How have you been? Hi, Laura. How are you? Good to see you.
Yeah, I do too.
See you too.
My goodness.
How's
Laura,
the
how you doing?
training
Good to
going?
see
It's
you.
good to see you too, Joe.
My goodness
Well, you
gracious.
guys look fabulous tonight.
We
dressed
went
up.
to State of the State. We had to do the Grand Rapids, the political scene
Oh, okay.
first, and then we
Gotcha, okay. All right.
swung by here.
Gotcha.
So.
Wait, who's into politics?
So where's
Not me. It's him. It's
Okay.
all him. He's the DC boy, so not me. I was.
This place is awesome.
Come on.
This place is awesome, isn't it? Oh,
We haven't
my
gotten
goodness.
past you. You walked in and I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Johnny Yeager.
Yeah.
They're like the podcast guys.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Mitch, Mr. Brower,
Lewis.
Lewis, Hayden, Mr. Hayden, and this is Tom.
He's got a wimpy beard now, so it's like
I know. No, it's good though.
Yeah?
No, you gotta switch it up. If I was bearded, which I am. No, it's all good.
How have you been, Tom? Okay.
You want to
Good.
let these guys get out, John, a little bit?
Yeah,
Come on
It's
out.
probably
They're-
warm
they're stuck in
here,
here.
right? You guys have a good. Is this where you're doing your podcast with Terrence
Yeah.
every week?
No, not every week.
No, just today.
as much as possible, no.
Yeah.
It's hard to be
It's a
mobile.
lot of,
Oh yeah, no,
It's a
it
lot
is.
of
It
setup and
requires
turn-off.
a lot of work. So,
Special events, it's good.
is this new?
He's had it for quite a while.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Okay.
They travel, so I said, well, it's 25.
Nice,
You got a
okay.
plane, rather than a car.
This is Johnny's family.
Yeah, good to see you.
Okay, I think that they were lined up, right? Tina's coming up.
Hi, Jill.
protein ice cream. It's all.
It's like healthy though?
What's that?
It's healthy?
Yeah, but it still tastes good. But how do you get good protein and be healthy at the same time?
I don't know if I want to be that healthy.
Oh.
I mean, I'm having fruit, but
Yeah, exactly. You're having fruit.
It's as healthy as it gets.
And your name is?
Mitch.
Mitch. Wayne. Nice to meet you.
Wayne? Lewis?
Wayne Brown,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So you're one of the founders of my team Triumph too, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I've always heard about you. I've never met you.
I know.
So you're a mystery.
I keep myself as a mystery.
That's good. Sometimes.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna try some of that ice cream.
Ice cream?
But you barely even crack the top of the.
I know, yeah.
Like, what's going on? Should he do this 100% of the time?
No, we do this once a week.
Okay, once a week?
Yeah, once a week. Just a small podcast, not a ton of listeners. Yeah, we have some, and it's been fun to watch it grow through the years, the last couple of years. We get messages from wherever, like a message from New York. Hey, I ran across your podcast, really like it, blah, blah, blah.
Cool.
So it's kind of neat to get those. After it was all friends and family at first.
Right.
So
where do you want this to go? Like in the next 5
We want to
years?
make $1 million. Is what?
it would just be nice to see it have a good following of people that want to enjoy the sport like we do.
Yeah.
You know, running and endurance sports, but we don't have a ton of time to put into it. So we are a limiting factor in that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? If we could pour a ton of time into promoting it and going to races and pushing it, you know, maybe that would change.
Yeah.
Where'd you get this?
In the freezer. You need to grab one before it's all gone. So what else do you do beyond podcast?
I work at Hayward.
Okay.
Business process analyst. I'm on a software base.
Okay.
I've been at Hayward for 35 years.
All right. So I'm just gonna write it out.
At this point, what else
Yeah.
are we gonna do?
Well, you know, I keep saying that to myself. You know, like what's my next thing that I'm gonna do? Like, what do I want to be when I grow up? Like, there's still time to be able to do it. It's just like I'm not quite sure what it is, but when it lands, I guess it'll.
Yeah, I'm increasingly unhappy with the way things have been going lately. But it's, I don't know. It's not that easy.
Oh, then
Should we get
aftermarket is
rolling?
Are we bringing Tina in at the same
I
time,
think
or
so.
Did you get her attention?
Yeah, she's coming. She kind of gave me like,
We are gonna.
Wayne,
Just
right?
so we're all together, we're gonna throw her completely under the bus, right?
We're under the bus.
It's Wayne, right?
Yeah, Wayne. Yeah.
And Tina, I'm
Hello.
Lewis. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Hello.
We've met
Yes.
once or twice.
I don't know how to do all this, just so you know.
I know that
Fine.
makes it better. We're gonna have fun.
Okay.
We are just going to talk. For headphones.
Can we pick on you like we pick on Terrence?
No. I don't talk like Terrence does.
You sure?
Yes.
Let me
do.
help you with those.
She has a
These
much-
are the
I-
most
I don't
annoying
know
She has a much
anything.
different accent.
because they're.
What? I have a different
You
accent?
have a different accent than Tara.
Do I?
There we go.
Thank you.
And the reason I asked for these is because you can actually tell when you're talking into the microphone. So
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
The most important thing is that you hear me,
Yeah.
not Lewis.
are you saying something? And if you could pull that right up close.
Yeah, the thing is, though,
Super close.
Yeah, you have to be close. Like, you know how you can't not hear Terrence? Like, you're gonna hear him. He was like this far away, and you couldn't hear him.
Oh,
So
okay.
that
So
says-
if I speak now, is
yeah,
that
that's good.
Okay.
So that says a lot, right?
Okay.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, hey, we are back. For those that saw, we took a short break. We have Wayne with PT Sports Pro now, right?
Not really.
No.
No.
Never
he
mind.
is one of the founding.
Oh, and My Team
members
Triumph.
Of My Team
My
Triumph.
Team Triumph.
Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
And amongst other things, and I didn't ask on purpose because we don't know what he does.
I guess not. I assumed. I've seen you here the entire time tonight, right? You've been
Well,
here
they're-
since I got here.
Yeah, because him and Terrence are good friends.
Totally.
Yeah,
Totally.
We've been friends for 25, 26 years. So, yeah, it's been
So you
quite
can-
some time. So.
You can make a lot of assumptions with that.
Right.
He likes punishment, or I don't know. No, Terrence is great.
No. We synchronize each other pretty nicely. So.
And Tina.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome to the podcast.
And who is she? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I am Terrence's wife.
And we
the
have
better half.
Yes, the better half.
the better half because we have talked about her so much, and she is on now.
Yeah. Welcome to the podcast.
Everybody wants to know.
Oh
who she
boy,
is,
here we
who she
go.
is. No, I'm not.
I'm just gonna sit back and
I
let
was
Mitch
joking.
do his
I
thing.
was joking. I was going to throw her on the bus, but I can't do that because I can't.
No.
No, be kind.
So this is fun. We can go back. We have heard the story. I don't think we've shared it on the podcast necessarily. Maybe we have, because we talked to Terrence about some of his upbringing. But why don't we just ask you, like, how did you meet Terrence, and when did he ask you out, and all the fun stuff?
Maybe she's the aggressive
I think
one.
it's
We
the other
don't
way
know.
around.
Ah.
So we met when we were in college. I grew up in South Africa as well, in Durban, same place as Terrence. Went to the same college and PT school. I'm also a physical therapist. And yeah.
Oh, that's right, because you guys, and here I'm jumping in. That's right, because you guys moved here and did that, traveled doing that,
Yep.
PT.
Yep. Went
Okay.
to a couple, New York, North
Alma, you guys were in
Carolina.
Alma, Michigan.
Yeah, thriving
I remember.
metropolis. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the first place we went, and I thought, oh my God, where have we landed?
I know where Alma is because I'm from near that area. So
It's funny though. People think we come from Africa, like rural. No, we grew up in a big city. And
Yeah.
they brought us to Alma, and I was like, what is this?
so you met Terrence in South Africa.
Yes, at school.
At school, at the university, and who wanted to ask who out?
Well, it was difficult because of apartheid, right?
Yes.
So we were still living under apartheid at that time. So I don't know. We both knew that we kind of liked each other, but we have another good friend of ours, Anushka, who was always around with us. So everyone always kind of assumed because she's Indian and Terrence is Indian that they were going out and not us.
Oh.
Because that didn't.
That's what
that
you
wouldn't-
did at that
right,
time
yeah.
in South
So
Africa.
that's kind of how it went around.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a gradual process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you move here, you do several years of bouncing around,
Yep.
essentially like 20 years.
No.
No?
We were in Alma for a year, 2 years, 3 years, something like that. And
Okay.
then we did travel for a couple years.
Okay.
And our last travel assignment was at Mary Free Bed.
Oh,
And we
okay.
said, oh, we're not staying in Grand Rapids. We've been to Michigan. We're not doing that. And they said, well, just consider it. Just think about it. And we're like, well, we've got one more contract we're doing in North Carolina. And they said,
Okay.
well, go do that contract and then come back and think about it. And yeah, we're still here somehow.
And you raised a family.
And we raised a family.
A beautiful one at that.
Oh,
And I've seen one of your sons in here.
They're both here.
They're
They're both here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see one right here.
Yep. I don't think I've met them yet, so I'd love to be able to meet them. So Wayne, how did you come to know My Team Triumph? Is
My
that
Team-
where you met Terrence?
Actually, I started a local tri-team,
Oh.
and we had over 150 members of the tri-team, and Terrence was one of those members. And as we, learned about each other and our relationships, we kind of came to the realization that there was a need in the marketplace for people with special needs that, maybe have never been first in their lives of doing certain things, that we wanted to provide that opportunity. I still have a sister that's 60 and has some special needs, and I've been around that, world for many, many, many years. And, with his background and where he was working, it really kind of made sense. And we kind of sat down like any fantastic business with a white napkin. And started drafting and drawing this out, and just kind of made it happen.
So you both are two of the original founders.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. From a napkin.
From a napkin.
Where was I going? I was going somewhere with this.
We never know.
I had a follow-up. This is what happens. I have a follow-up, but I want to listen, so I let the follow-up sit back.
And then
I forget what the follow-up was.
I know, it's crazy.
Because I don't want to interrupt, right?
No.
I don't want to get that glossy over, like, I have a question, get done with what you're talking about.
We need better when we
I know,
notes.
I need to be able to write some notes.
Oh, no, that's my job, because I'm the one with Parkinson's, and so I'm the one with the memory deficiencies. And so
I'm the one who had cancer and chemo brain. I'm
Right,
the one
exactly.
who claims the memory
Yeah,
issues.
we have no excuse, Mitch. That's all you.
So together with her expertise in Parkinson's and the things that she's gone through and survived, it's been amazing.
Yeah.
We have talked about that a little bit on the.
I don't know if we talked about it on the
Little bit.
podcast necessarily, have we?
A little bit.
I don't know. It's one of those things where I try to be like I don't want to. Like when I talk to Terrence, when he comes over, we talk a lot, as everybody does with Terrence, in the kitchen. And not necessarily in the kitchen, but just anywhere. But we happen to be in the kitchen before we get on the podcast. And we'll discuss a lot of things before we get on the podcast. And what often happens is like, did we talk about that on the podcast?
That's true.
Did
That
we
is
bring
true.
that up?
Right. To take the elephant right out of the room, you have a rare form of cancer.
I do.
Yep.
Did.
Did.
I'm going to say did.
And you're in remission.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
As much as this cancer can be called in remission, it's pretty much like an uncurable cancer. So nothing, scans every 3 to 6 months, and so far so good. And I'm going to just say that I did have cancer and I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And prayers. And yeah, I still cannot come up with the follow-up. I had something good. There. It was with Tina.
Adrenal cortical cancer?
Nope, was not. That didn't pop into my head as Wayne was talking. Oh man, I don't know. I can't think of it. But anyway, that's what it was. I found it. Okay, so you guys are. Terrence is doing his. Well, you both were doing PT.
Yes.
At some point, did you step away from it, or okay?
A little bit. When we had our kids. I backed off and I was just working on the weekends here and there and covering once in a while, that kind of thing.
Okay, and then
good 10 years maybe.
And then Terrence is still doing it full time, and then he comes up with an idea, eventually, of this. So how did that how did that play out?
So that's been kind of sitting in the back of his head for a long time. He's always.
So you guys have discussed this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A while ago.
Yeah. He's always had an inkling of what he would like the ideal situation would be, and
for many, many years.
For many, many years.
Many, many years.
Yes. Wayne's probably heard it as
So
much as I have.
So when
I'm
it
like,
became,
you need to
do
rip
this.
off the Band-Aid. Get past
okay.
the pain and just make the.
So we have
shit
two
happen.
people here that have been through this road with him for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when did it become real? Because he's been bouncing it off you guys for a while. When did it become real, and how did that make you feel?
Were you really nervous about him kicking
that's
us
what
off?
I'm. I guess that's where I'm getting is.
Yes and no. I mean, nervous a little bit, yes, because it's changed and it's different. You're unsure, but no, because I know that he means well, and if you build it, they will come. I mean, it's like it's done with love, and it's done for the right reasons. It's not done because I want to make the most amount of money in the world. I mean, yes, we do need to pay the bills and that kind of thing, but that's not the point of it. And I think if you put good out there, good will come back. And I have learned, and as we know, life is short, and live your dream. You got to do it.
So you were fully on.
Yeah. I mean, you got to do it.
I just, it is so unique, you know, like that. It's refreshing to talk to somebody that is more worried about doing good than making money. Again, like you said, you got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
No matter what, you got to pay the bills.
Right.
But he didn't need, at this point in his life, he didn't need to risk like this. But he decided to risk. I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
I think he noticed a big need out there, and instead of going to a doctor and being a number and walking out and them not knowing your name and who you are and the balances in between, he actually takes time to really understand who you are and the passion that he has and the passion that they have and the direction that they want to go. It's just been amazing, and I've felt that through the Rubens relationship, just from friendships to everything else. They give their heart and soul outside. You know, when they're the ones that may be needing to be comforted, they're out in the community comforting all those that need it the most.
Yeah, I don't. That is something that has been a recurring theme. It seems like whenever we talk to Terrence, whether it's been about PT Sports Pro or just whatever he's doing, your kids. And I don't have the details because I am very, as Mitch will attest, I do not retain certain details really, really well, and I often regurgitate them very inaccurately.
Your short-term memory is not good. Right?
My memory is not good, short or long term. But I do know that one of your sons, just like what he was doing and the intentionality behind, well, this is all great, but how does this help the community and things like that? And again, I don't remember the details, but the reason I say that is that's ingrained in your family. So obviously that comes from both of you, and I just think that's such a testament, you know, to your point, Wayne, of just how they are as people and human beings. And Wayne, could you just speak to, you know, you mentioned Parkinson's and living with that and getting involved with My Team Triumph and things like that. Could you just maybe talk to that a little bit, like what your experience is, and maybe just shed some light on, because I'm pretty ignorant of knowing a lot about it. Could you just help shed some light on that a little bit?
Well, I don't have all the answers. Obviously, there's a lot of things that go into Parkinson's as a whole, and it affects everyone, you know, independently. My first experience with Parkinson's was taking care of my dad for about 10 years, and his experiences with Parkinson's and dementia and a lot of aspects. And I knew when I first started hitting him, and then all of a sudden I started feeling this twitching in my hand and my rubbing of my fingers and those different types of things. I'm like, yeah, maybe I need to have this checked out. Getting diagnosed was like, go. Okay, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And I think there was, a good 6 months of time period of like, okay, how fast is it going to progress? Where am I going to go? Do I take medication? What's going to happen? Where's my life? I'm, 48 to 50 years old during this time period, young Parkinson's onsets where normally people aren't being diagnosed to their 60s or 70s, and a lot of the treatment plans that are available they can't do because of their age and the different things that are going on. And it was emotional for a period of time.
Yeah.
And as I look back as like some of the symptoms of Parkinson's, and I look at my history of just life, I'm like, oh, yeah, I had that. Like, oh, I realized this. I'm like, oh, I had that. But it never like kind of all kind of clicked and came, together. And it continues to get worse, and it's different for everyone across board. Parkinson's symptoms are all tremor based, so the right side of my body, from my hand to my leg, are always constantly moving, and it's hard to stop. And I look at Tina, who's been amazing, and she's worked with the Parkinson's patients, and always telling me, Wayne, you need to use your right hand, because I switch. I'm always, I'm right-handed, and now I'm doing things with my left hand, and I'm drinking, and I've never done that before. And she's like, stop doing that.
Really?
Are you kind of harsh like that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Could you explain a little bit, like, why? again, I don't know a lot, and so please excuse my ignorance. Why is that? Is that just something like a PT type of thing you would do? Like people should be doing that? Like,
No, so people with not just Parkinson's, but with a lot of neurological conditions, if they can't use one limb or don't use it as well as they would like, they
Yeah.
start automatically switching because your brain tries to do things as efficiently as possible. Well, the left hand doesn't work so good. All right, I'll do the right. Or the right hand doesn't work so well. Okay, I'll do the left.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a conscious decision. You don't ever like one day wake up and
Right.
say, I'm not going to use my right hand anymore. It
Right.
just is like, oh, I'm shaking. Well, let me just grab it with this hand, and then it becomes habit. But it's really a case of if you don't use it, you will lose it, which is why we keep begging on people to please use.
I'm really good with a drink shaker on my right hand because I can keep it moving. But if I have another glass in my hand, then
Yeah.
I'm always afraid to spill,
Yeah.
just like that. So I switch to my left hand. That's clear as day.
Or you can.
Yeah, I can flick my fingers and I can make movements to kind of help stop the process of
really?
the shaking that's
So,
going on. So,
how long ago were you diagnosed? On?
2020.
Okay.
2020.
So 4 years that you've known.
Yes. Yep. And the Rubens were the first people that family that I told.
Yeah.
Besides my wife. And we've kind of kept it quiet for a number of years, and it's been probably in the last year we've been more open to telling people about it, and it's good for me to be able to do that because people see it like, hey, you're shaking, are you cold? I'm like, no, I can't control it. I don't want it to be something else that's there. And I don't look for sympathy, and now, my mental brain has kind of changed over. Like, I know I have this, but I don't really think that I have this, and I still have to go living on my day-to-day activities with it or without it, and I just gotta make it happen. I'm not gonna let it mimic or change who I am and do different things.
So you were always really active in the running community. Like you've put on a few races and stuff like that.
I was involved in over probably at any given time 200 events throughout.
Because you had a
state.
timing company too at one time.
A timing company with Epic Timing. And,
Okay. Do you still have a timing
Raymond's.
company or
No,
not?
it's Epic Timing, and Raymond runs that 100%.
Okay.
And I still support events, but I'm not out actively at the events or participating. I'm starting to try to do a little bit more running and just enjoying, general fitness and making sure it's one of the biggest things of Parkinson's is exercise and being able to rebuild those dopamine levels to take down the tremor aspect. So like first thing in the morning when you wake up, I'm like a total wreck and a mess until I can finally start moving, and then I have that workout at lunchtime, and then things start calming down towards the evening. So.
Is there, looking back, and again, sorry, I don't know a lot, but I think it's great if you can talk about it. Is there anything that you would say like, hey, if this, maybe you should check this, and does it matter like when you get checked? Should people in their 40s, 50s, if something like that, oh, my hand shakes a little or something, should they be getting checked? Should they be getting checked out, or should they? And then, is earlier diagnosis anything beneficial?
Yes.
Really?
100%. So Parkinson's is a diagnosis of exclusion. Right now, there is no blood test for Parkinson's, or there's not an X-ray that you can do for Parkinson's. There is a brain scan that they can do, but it's not 100%. It's called a DET scan. They are working on a sweat analysis because they believe that the sebum in sweat might be able to diagnose Parkinson's. So there's something coming down the pipeline with that, with research. But it really is a diagnosis of exclusion. Like, we rule out that you don't have this, we rule out that it's not that, it's not that, it's not that. Well, then it has to be Parkinson's. And ultimately, one of the ways that they treat it is, or they diagnose it, is they throw a treatment at you, and if it works, well, then that must be what it is, because the treatment worked. But a lot of Parkinson's, in fact, the majority, if not all Parkinson's patients, and I think you can attest to this, Wayne, have symptoms way, 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 way before they're diagnosed. 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years sometimes. I've had patients before that lost their sense of smell, but you don't wake up in the morning one day and just suddenly go, oh my gosh, my sense of smell is gone.
Right.
It's so gradual that you don't notice that it's gone. And so I asked her, how's your sense of smell? And she goes, oh, it's not bad, it's fine. And her husband's like, no, it's not. You can't smell anything. And then when we start digging into it, she goes, oh, yeah. Even when I was changing my kids' diapers, I never thought they were smelly diapers until my husband would tell me they're smelly diapers. And you go back, well, that was like mid-20s.
Wow.
And now this is like 30 years later that she's being diagnosed. So there's lots and lots of things. So it's smell, it's tremor, it's color vision, it's shuffling walking, it's rigidity and stiffness, and there's
constipation,
anxiety.
You think that's to have that every day, or like it's every once in a while, but it's actually
it's a huge thing.
A huge part of Parkinson's early on diagnosis.
And sleep disorder. Sleep is probably one of the biggest things. People that don't sleep well, now don't freak out, everybody that doesn't sleep well, but people that are actually diagnosed with REM sleep disorder have a huge, huge likelihood of having Parkinson's. So yeah, all of these things, if you have this and this and this and this and this, then yeah, you probably should get checked out.
Okay.
So just because someone doesn't sleep well doesn't mean they're going to have Parkinson's.
Right.
So just because someone's constipated once doesn't mean they're going to have Parkinson's. But yeah, when you start adding up all the pieces together, absolutely. And unfortunately, we do see people that get brushed away and like, oh, you've just got that. It's nothing. That's just a little intentional tremor. It's nothing. But then if you dig deep enough, it's a tremor, plus it's I can't smell, plus it's I shuffle my feet, plus it's occasionally I trip and fall, plus it's if you start adding those things on, it should start ringing a bell for someone.
And is tremors obviously one of the bigger
one?
Okay.
It's one of the motor symptoms, right? So Parkinson's is always thought of as a motor disease, right? But it's not really. It's a lot of other things going on. So by the time it comes to the motor symptoms being obvious, which is when people are diagnosed, that's about 1/3 to 2/3 of your dopamine cells are already being degenerated at that point. So you've already had the disease for quite a long time by the time the motor symptoms come along.
Okay.
Honestly, the first symptoms are constipation, sleep disorders, depression and anxiety, which everybody has once in a while, right? Again, like if you thought that every person that had occasional depression was having Parkinson's, that's crazy, right? But when you put them all together, that's when it's like, oh yeah.
And so, what does the early diagnosis, or what is if you do jump on top of things, how does that help things?
Well, it can help a lot. There's only one thing that's been shown to help slow down the progression of the disease. One thing, and that's exercise.
Oh.
There is no medication that slows down the progression of the disease at this point. There's lots of research going on, lots of good potential out there, but nothing that's been clinically studied yet.
But exercise does slow it.
Exercise has been clinically proven in a randomized controlled trials to show that it does slow down the progression of the disease.
But it's going to progress.
It's going
but
to
it
progress,
does
but
slow
if we can
that
slow
progression.
It down,
Yeah.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah. So the earlier you know, the better armed you can be.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there are some medications that you can get onto and that could help you. And if it could help you earlier and have a better quality of life, why not?
Yeah.
You can speak to that too, Wayne.
Yeah, I've been on numerous medications. The first medication that I was on helped tremors for a period of time. Then I kind of just dropped off and kind of stopped working. Second set of medications that I'm even taking now, it is 30% effective on helping with the tremor basis, but it provides morning sickness. Like you wake up and all you want to do is just run to the bathroom to throw up, and it just makes you nauseous, and it's just not a really great feeling. I'm looking at DBS, which is deep brain stimulation, where it's actually a brain surgery where they go in on the left side and the right side into the center cortex of your brain to put in stimulators that attach to a battery that gets put into your chest. But the results, if you're highly tremor-based like I am on the right side, it's about a 99% effectiveness of getting rid of the tremors.
Wow.
All the other
symptoms, yeah.
of Parkinson's will still continue to happen and progress with memory loss or smell or all the things that may come along with that. And again, everyone's different, but it's again, what is the quality of life, and are the risks outweighing that benefit?
Yeah.
There's another treatment that I've told Wayne about as well that's out at Cleveland Clinic now that they're starting to do more and more, which is high-frequency ultrasound instead of doing brain stimulation. So instead of actually doing a surgery and going in and putting a probe into your brain, they're focusing ultrasound high frequency and starting to see some pretty good effects with that as well. I've only seen a couple patients with that, but they're pretty pleased with how that worked out. The one thing we didn't mention, Wayne, was voice. Right, we talked about all the movement things, but voice is a big thing. People with Parkinson's tend to stop speaking. They start speaking more and more softly. And again, you don't wake up one morning speaking softly.
Yeah.
It's a gradual process. That's the thing is death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
It's kind of what Parkinson's is. It's a very, very slow thing. And you don't just wake up with all these symptoms.
Yeah.
They're so gradual that most people don't realize they have them. That's why when I evaluate patients, I always like to have the caregiver, the spouse, the partner with them. Because when I ask the patient all these questions, they're like, oh, no, I don't have it. And the caregiver's like, yes, you do. They don't recognize it themselves because it's just it's something that they've lived with for so long. It's just so natural. It doesn't seem like it's an abnormal thing.
Yeah.
Right, and I notice that even in my household, like I may answer a question or ask a question, and everyone will go, "What? What did you say?" I'm like, "Did you not hear me? So do I need to speak louder?"
Yes.
But using,
Yes, you do.
Exactly. but keeping those vocal cords, strong, because what happens is that you kind of come shy. I've always been very outgoing and very, talkative, and one of the things that kind of stopped, I stopped talking. I stopped just the pandemic. You stop socializing. You stop all those different types of things, which weakening, the esophagus and the muscles, but that also causes problems with swallowing. So eventually, you're not able to swallow, then you start getting, deterioration in that aspect of it. So they have what's called the LOUD program, and being able to utilize that in the Parkinson's aspect. So, So I try a little bit more. So I start talking loud. Did you hear me? Did you not hear me?
There you go. Yell at those kids.
Right, exactly.
Wow. Well, geez, thank you guys for sharing. I really do appreciate it.
That was unexpected for me.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate the conversation about this. I mean, and I love the part about, hey, get out and run. Like get out and exercise. Like,
The more vigorous, the better.
Yeah. The more you're active, the better.
Absolutely.
And to pay attention to signs, and just see a physician at a minimum.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea. Like the sooner you can find a diagnosis of that, the sooner you can take measures to improve quality of life for the longest period possible.
Right.
And if you wait till your 60s and 70s, again, what options do you have?
Right.
Do you just got to live with it? Do you go to speech therapy? You're doing all these additional things where, hey, if I would have known 20 years ago, you're just going to put me on a Peloton and let me ride for an hour and a half, to build up. Again, it's rhythmic. There's this piece of it of just really trying to build into your body and into your system. So.
Yeah.
Our TV's going off here. Let's just do this, and maybe that'll. Well, I guess we don't need it.
See how fast you are. Hopefully you don't have Parkinson's. You got 47 seconds.
Well, I told it I'm still watching, but we don't need it actually. I was thinking we do, but we don't.
There's actually a Pedaling with Parkinson's program.
Really?
Yeah.
They
show there was a neuroscientist, I think also out of Cleveland Clinic, whose good friend had Parkinson's, and they used to ride bike together. And when his friend got to the point where he couldn't ride bike anymore, he said, well, let's get a tandem bike and we'll go together. And after he hopped off the bike, he was like, oh my gosh, I feel so good. My symptoms are so much better. So, of course, the scientist had to go and do some experimental work, and it's actually been shown. If you ride between 70 and 90 RPM, you can actually produce more dopamine and decrease symptoms of Parkinson's. So 70, 90
yeah.
RPM.
Yeah, yeah. So cycling is
Cycling
has
is
been a
huge.
key.
Yeah.
Been trying to do a little bit more running and trying to really kind of focus on getting back into that. But that mentally is also a little bit challenging because you have an arm that is moving and it gets real stiff and it becomes very painful. But then when you're running, you're the side that you're having the tremor, your foot may want to go out to the left or may go to the right, or you have that uniqueness where it's not.
With a bike, you don't have that.
You're clipped in.
You just go.
You just kind of go and kind of make it happen. So.
And it's safer. You can't fall off a bike, really.
Right.
Well, a stationary bike.
Oh, right.
Well,
right.
wait, you're looking like you have. No.
Well, I have a bottle of champagne while I'm biking.
There is that, yeah.
Pink champagne.
Pink champagne.
Pink
exactly.
champagne. Well, cool. Thank you guys for sharing that. I know I really appreciate it. I know that those watching this podcast or listening to this podcast may not have expected that, but that is real. I think that, like you said, that is really, I just really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to, Tina here being a PT Sports Pro and the Parkinson's, rehabilitation, services that they can offer and to really help, provide, direction in a passionate, and capable, manner. I think that's really where it comes down to.
Yeah. No, thank you guys thank you guys for coming on the podcast. It was so nice to meet you, Tina, for the first time. I've heard a lot about you and
Heard
Wayne.
so much, and it's all been good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it definitely has.
Thank
It
you so much,
definitely
guys.
has.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's getting warm in here.
It is a little bit. I have a question.
Is it still on?
It is. I'm actually going to stop.